The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Hey, welcome to Sunset City. It's the classic podcast for the Sonic age, modern age. I'm Garrulous64, and today with me I've got Channel Pup.
Sup, dude.
And we also have Ian Waffles.
Hey, thanks for having me back. It's been a while.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm so pleased to have Ian back. I'm giggling like a
yes,
little
of
schoolgirl
course.
over here.
And we will have Trey Nobles a little bit later. He's just running a little bit late. And until then, we can talk about how we have our little super chats, where if you super chat, we'll read that at the end of the stream. We thank you very much for this. You're also able to become a channel member or a patron. And you could get your name read out like these patrons. My Great Rolls, Ven 101, Aiden Fitzgerald, Stardust Chaos, Crimson Rose, Mr. SP, and KB at the start of our podcasts. Hooray, look at us, look at you. Thank you guys. You also get access to the Discord. And yeah, it's been pretty good stuff. And I think that's
cool
about it.
Wants to be. We do have one more little thing to mention.
Okay.
And that is that starting in July, there will be a schedule change. The sun will be setting at another time, and that is how it will be for the foreseeable future. So, as of July, it will be moving to Saturdays around about the same time. I think the same time. I don't see any reason to change the time of it. But it will be moving to Saturday nights instead of Friday nights. So, the reason for that is because both Dylan and I have now got jobs like the wealthy Hollywood businessmen that we are. And so we do need to kind of keep our Fridays free. So yeah, that's how that is. But yeah, that's great news. And with that, we're basically ready to go, aren't we?
Yeah, I've got nothing standing in the way.
Hell yeah. All right then. Ian, what's been your life in the interim period since you've last appeared on the show as well? Like, let's get a little bit on you.
Well, I mean, what all has happened? So we had, as far as Sonic, we had the movie finally, right?
Yeah, we had Sonic. Yeah, you haven't talked about Sonic 3, have you?
Yeah, no. Yeah, because I would have been gone by then. So, yeah, so Sonic 3 finally came out, and it was freaking awesome. It was really good.
It sure was.
Yeah, because I ended up rewatching the first two. And, the first one I think is like a really cute, charming movie that knows exactly what it wants to be. It doesn't aim too high, but it like pretty much nails exactly what it wants to be. And the second movie's fucking terrible. So,
Damn, you don't like the second one?
No, I think the second one's like awful. Like really bad.
Damn.
I mean, we can go into it sometime if you want. But yeah, and then movie 3. Yeah, and then movie 3 I thought was really, really good. Like especially just especially with Robotnik, especially like that all came together in such an amazing way that I genuinely like I got teared up a bit when I saw like his send off in that film. And so like it's one of those things where I know they're gonna bring Jim Carrey back, but I really do hope they will have like enough thought to go into it to be like, well, the old Robotnik had like a good send off for his story. Let's just do a new Robotnik and we can just keep Jim Carrey, right? Like that just seems like the obvious thing you do. No one's gonna be mad if it's it's not the old one canonically. In fact, people will actually be more mad because you'll ruin his character arc. So.
I was thinking about this actually, was like how Robotnik obviously got his classic comic book look, his classic look in Sonic 3. And it's that old thing of like, you never see him and Sonic in the same frame while he's in the classic outfit. And it's like, I feel like there's a teeny bit of unfinished business there. Also, he hasn't worn the goggles with the classic outfit yet. It is purely just like, oh, just a little extra for me, please. Like the whole Star-Lord didn't wear his helmet in Guardians 3. I'm like, oh, there's still unfinished business. Is it enough to justify a whole nother movie? No, but it's like, come on, just that one little thing. Just one little thing I want to see here.
They have to bring him
maybe
back. Like, they just
maybe
can't.
he'll do like a little he'll do like a Verizon ad as Star-Lord and he'll wear the helmet and people will be like, "Whoa, the helmet! He did the helmet! Look!"
That's what they meant in Guardians 3 when they said Star-Lord will return. He'll return for ads.
It's for a Verizon commercial. I mean, have you ever seen that, what is it? There's like an American insurance company that had like a Batman commercial, and you could just tell that whoever was directing that commercial had wanted to direct a Batman movie their entire life, because you've got cameos from all the different Batman villains, it's got a Batmobile in it, it's got Batman himself showing up, and all of it is done really, really well. Like,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's State Farm commercial. You can tell that whoever
the Batman Bateman thing?
Yeah, you can tell that whoever made that has been waiting his entire life to be making this.
That's awesome. I love it.
Oh, I'd love to do a video on that at some point. Maybe someday soon, in fact. Because that's the great thing, is now that I'm no longer completely financially dependent to YouTube, I can experiment a bit. I can do new types of videos and stuff. So I'm very excited for what lies ahead in the future. But enough about that. I'm just in a good place at the moment. So
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Let's start off with our topics. Ladies and gentlemen, the topics. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start front-loading the topics now. Like, you'll get the main topic at the start. So, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. There's been a lot of new coverage of that game lately, and I don't know how much you guys have been following, but I've kind of been keeping an eye on all the different new updates on this game from people who've played it at Summer Game Fest and stuff like that. Have you guys been following any of that?
Yeah, I do. But I do my best to keep up with it where I can. I'm not following every single thing, but I get like the gist of it just kind of scrolling through my feed. So.
Hey, well, let's catch up.
I mean, you send me all of the stuff that you find, pup. So yeah, I've been keeping up with it.
It's true. I do send it to the Sunset City group chat because I'm like, look at this, guys. But and then I'm like, hey, you guys want to hang out later? And then no one responds for 2 minutes, and I get upset. But yeah, Ian, what are your like thoughts on like Crossworlds so far, anyway?
I mean, from everything I've seen, it's now in a state where like I'm actually pretty excited for it. Basically, just kind of once I saw that they seem to have fixed the music, you know. But just like generally, like with the cast, like it just I don't know, like didn't they have an interview where they talked about how many like voice lines they're having for all the different rival characters, even though not everybody gets one. But just stuff like that just seems like super cool to see, super like that is the kind of appeal that a Sonic fan wants, and will make them come back to it to see new interactions, mix and match all their favorite characters and not so favorite characters. You know,
it's cool to
I've seen
finally
some of the leaks.
see.
I won't go into that, but yeah, it just looks really cool. So yeah, go ahead.
It's cool to finally see characters like Cream and Shadow interacting and stuff like that, even if it's just little stuff. Like, it's interesting to see kind of what dynamics some of these characters have, and it's enough to kind of get us back up to speed. We did touch on this a little bit last episode, where it turned into quite a rant about Amy, but like I think, you know, it is still a very cool feature that they're doing this little rival mode thing, and that we do get to see all kinds of different character mashups. And I think, yeah, 1,000 lines of dialogue in the game. Now, I don't know how average that is when it comes to, like, narrative projects and stuff like that. I don't know, like, how many voice lines Sonic Frontiers would have had, for example. But for a racing title, that's pretty exceptional, I'd imagine.
Well, it's still a lot regardless, yeah.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, no, it's super exciting.
You sound like you were on the verge of greatness.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a bummer that they said that only the Sonic cast are going to be doing it. I don't know if they said the Sega characters aren't either. But, like, you know, I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity, especially with characters like, I don't know, characters, any of the characters that come back, or, like, any characters that are like, oh, like, Miku can't talk to Sonic, that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah.
And hopefully maybe they'll add that in later if people really want it, or if they can. Because, I mean, why not? Why not do it? You know, I mean, or at the very least, why not give her, like, a set 5, you know, that for, like, a certain amount of characters, you know?
Is Miku not literally a robot anyway, like voiced by a robot?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird that they said,
we couldn't get him back, guys.
Gonna talk.
The SAG-AFTRA strike hit. We can't get Miku back. She's gone.
It's like I feel it's unfortunate because, like, I know it wouldn't be like super cheap, but like, you mean you can't have Tom Kenny record like 6 lines, like Ian, like you just said, like you could have like literally like maybe 6 lines that don't even mention a character, just because like maybe it has to be generic, maybe they're worried about the brand or whatever. Like literally just SpongeBob going, "Wow, you think you're pretty fast? Well, let's see what happens." That kind of thing. Like, and the other guy can go, "Wow, SpongeBob SquarePants."
SpongeBob doesn't shit talk. That's not how SpongeBob would be.
Yeah, you'd go bubble.
Go, all right, I'm ready for a great race.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
you get a lot of that. Oh, that would be awesome. Even if you just started, even if you just yelled "I'm ready" as you like launch off, that would be great.
Yeah, do they not have grunts at least though? Like, do they not have like just whoa, ooh?
Well, something I especially want to know about is like, it's the worst kept secret.
They made that whole Nickelodeon fighting game. Like they made that whole first Nickelodeon fighting game without any sound clips from the characters because they
went for Nickelodeon's Kart Racer as well, which also had no voice lines from the characters, which is just embarrassing, really. But I guess Nickelodeon characters are now mutes. Nickelodeon are like the front runners in silent entertainment for the modern age.
We're going back to black and white silent cartoons.
I'd be game to give it a shot. Like that could actually be kind of fun. But yeah, like I think the thing is, as it is, getting these licenses to appear in Crossworlds is probably going to be costing them quite a bit, hence why they're on that battle pass and stuff like that. But then my question is, who asked for them?
But like, I mean, the thing about it I was thinking about is like, obviously they have a good relationship with Paramount now, so yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But
I guess just like it's in their best interest, I guess, to like cross promote with each other. I wonder if they don't get charged as much, or if there's like more like a deal, with that. Like, oh yeah, you can use these characters, but they can't have voices. That's extra or something. That kind of thing.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to pretend I don't see the appeal in it, though. I mean, like, for fuck's sake, you saw how excited I was to play as Hank Hill in Fortnite. Thank you, Lit, by the way. Like,
especially some of those leaks are true. Then holy shit, but yeah.
Yeah. We won't like mention any specifics on the show.
No.
But yeah, like there's a lot of very exciting stuff. I think a lot of this is going to be a lot of that season pass DLC, which I don't really intend to get. Also, this is very interesting. I'm seeing this on my end now. A new type of ad on the stream. It's an ad that plays side by side with the stream, so it doesn't interrupt it. That's crazy. That's actually kind of cool.
They finally stole that from Twitch.
Yeah, they're ahead now, it seems. But yeah, no, like the thing I really want to know is obviously it's kind of like the worst kept secret that Tangle and Whisper are going to be in this game. Like we've seen Whisper's board. There's like no way that Whisper isn't going to be in it. And if Whisper's not in it, if Whisper's in it, you're going to get Tangle. Tangle and Whisper are definitely in this game. And the question is, are they going to get voices? Are we finally going to hear them speak? And that's really exciting.
Please. Yeah.
But,
because once that happens, it's like it's over. Like anyone who wants to say like they're not real Sonic characters, it's over. They're in an official game, like a game, not just like a mobile one where it's like, oh, here's a skin. It's like they're talking. They're like they're racing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think.
Oh, go on.
The only thing I think of is like maybe if they don't give them a voice, it's because they're trying to hold off until they like find the right person for it or something. Like they're like, oh well, we want to introduce them for realsies, so like let's wait. Like I wouldn't mind if they didn't have voices for that reason. Like they're like, okay, we don't have someone in mind yet.
Figure it out now, cowards. What's the wait?
But yeah, no, figure it out now, I guess. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm all for like, yeah, what's the wait? Figure it out now, cowards. That's really beautifully worded. But like, at the same time, in a racing spin-off, the voices are not going to be like a main draw. They're obviously part of it. However, I'm, if anything, likely to turn the voices off in Crossworlds if given an option, because when playing the beta, I got sick of good, nice, jamming, and also why does Roger?
Yeah, Sonic was really annoying.
Why does Roger sound auto-tuned in this?
Like,
one?
they really, there's a very easy fix for it. You can either just have it be able to turn off if you don't want to hear it, or they could just have it so those. Because, like, when you say good, great, awesome, outstanding, amazing, like, those aren't two dissimilar words from each other. Like, you could just theoretically have any of those voice clips play at random in that list. That way it doesn't sound like, because every time you go off a jump and do one trick, he goes, good, 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 good. Like you could go off 3 ramps in a row, and it's like, okay, please just say something else.
Well, it just feels like, why isn't there a buffer system of, like, he says one word, and then on the next one, he won't speak? You know, like hello.
Sure, yeah, that's a good idea too. If it's too quick in
However,
succession, but like,
if mods
I think
come
they
in,
should just rearrange the voice clips, have them be randomized. So he, if he goes up a jump, he goes jamming, good, awesome, like something like that would be better.
Your Crossworlds Sonic impression isn't actually that bad, and I feel like
Thanks.
you could what was I gonna say? You could I'm losing it. It's fading from my
Good.
mind. I hate when this happens. Yeah, I was about to say, when mods come in, if we start modding our own characters into it, I can already imagine Pup just be like, "Fuck you, die, bitch," like he does in in Mario 64 whenever he kicks something. And that could be a lot of fun. But yeah, like, is anyone else noticing though that Roger Craig Smith sounds incredibly auto-tuned this time? I don't know. It sounds like there's a post-processing on his voice clips, and I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't sound as natural as it usually does.
I kind of see what you mean.
Especially
Or I
when he
guess you're
drops the good, nice jamming. It might be with all of, like,
Good,
the production.
nice.
There's a lot of audio production in this game, like, and visual production. It's a very produced game. And, like, I know that some people probably aren't going to know what I mean by that, but, like, everything has some kind of post-processing effect to it. Everything has decorations all over it, unless you're the skybox for the Mystic Jungle, in which case you don't exist. But, like, everything else is covered in little effects and stuff. I think it's how they cover that the racetracks are a little more low poly this time around. We saw, like, with the Apoto stage that, yeah, the geometry is a lot less complex than even the Wii version of the game was, to be honest. And I think that is also so that so many people can play it at once online, and it's like you can load in these levels quickly. There's probably all kinds of technical reasons. But, like, yeah, there's so many effects on this game, so many different features, so many different gimmicks. And I have been concerned about it. Like, I've voiced my concerns about, like, the beta test. Ian, did you ever play the beta test for Crossworlds?
I did not.
So my general concerns, and Dylan, you can say if you like massively disagree or anything. Like, my general concerns were that racing was too bumpy and too luck based because A, the item balancing just was non-existent. B, if it's going to slow you down, it's going to slow you down an obnoxious amount. This applies to grass. This applies to just, yeah, again, any weapons or abilities. And also, just, like, the tracks to me felt kind of too narrow, as, like, races would constantly be just bumping into each other all the entire time. There's just never a point of, like, smooth glide to these races. And, yeah, that was, like, my general consensus was, it was, like, 5 tons of shit in a 1 pound bag. I don't know if I'm correct. Like, I'm mixing up my fucking metric systems here now. But, like, Dylan, like, what were your thoughts on the beta?
See, I don't know what the hell you mean by whatever that thing about shit in a bag was, but I do understand what you mean with the item balancing and the narrow roads.
Well, what I meant
think it was very difficult to, like...
Well, what I was kind of referring to, I guess, was, like, you've got X many players on the track. You've got the crossworld feature. You've got the transforming feature. You've got all of these different attack moves and stuff. And because of that, the attack moves take up a disproportionate amount of the experience. The vehicle transformations were basically a non-presence in the beta test because, like, you'll transform into a plane for, like, 5 seconds and then suddenly you're back into a car. And that's what I mean, is, like, you cannot fit all the different ideas this has into that bag gracefully, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right, now I see.
It's like,
but yeah, no, I experienced the same stuff. I think it was like the item balancing, I think, was the thing that got me the most, because I felt like no matter how good I was racing, since everyone who drove past the items basically got one because it respawned instantly, it made it so it's like no amount of progress you had ever really mattered. You get hit by one attack and then you go from first to, like, last, because everyone's right behind you because they're racing probably equally as good or better than you. And
yeah, you can finish. I have a question.
No, that was my biggest thing. Aside from how, like you said, the courses were narrow, I think that did really, it was kind of weird for, like, so many racers on the course at once.
Yeah. So have you guys played? Because I don't have a Switch too. Have you guys played Mario Kart World? Because I know that is something that people have talked about there, where, like, because there's so many racers, it can feel really chaotic and like you're not really making a lot of progress in some races, or like it's kind of a crapshoot. So I didn't know if either of you had played that or looked into that. If this seems similar or different in some ways.
So we
nope, I haven't played it.
we're part of the no Switch 2s group at the moment, anyway.
Me too.
But Trey will be coming later, and he is the wealthiest man alive. So he has not only a Switch 2, but he's got like all kinds of consoles in his penthouse. He's looking forward to playing Donkey Kong Bonanza from his luxury suite in his pool, overlooking the Hollywood Hills. So yeah, like he'll be able to talk more about kind of Mario Kart World. But like that was the thing I was thinking was like when like a lot of Sonic fans were dunking on Mario Kart World, I was kind of like, Mario Kart World is giving us an abundance of space, which I think is the #1 problem with Crossworlds. So, let's fast forward to the future now that we're done with the catch-up. I've been watching a lot of coverage of this, and one thing that immediately stood out to me was that the tracks do appear to have been improved a little bit. And I think it's only a little bit, but I noticed like the parking lot section of the museum was a little bit wider. You can really tell by the textures on the floor. Like they've widened the tracks up a little bit, just like I asked, which is really interesting because it shows that Sega are listening to even areas of feedback that are a little less prevalent. Like I haven't heard a lot of people complaining about the track size outside of myself, and I'm very pleased to see that that's improving. But I think we're also seeing a lot of like single player footage as well, seeing what it's like as a mostly bots experience. And seeing that you do have that element of keeping the lead a little longer than you did with the world play. So it might just be that world play, where every game is full of real people, might not be the most flattering way to experience this game. But like I'm liking what I'm seeing of like characters on the boards and how they're just, you know, able to glide along happily. And the boards, okay, so obviously, like, they're not like the Extreme Gear was in the first Sonic Riders, which is what I think a lot of people wanted. They are, as I kind of predicted, just a reskin of the karts, effectively. However, it does look like there is, like, a new boost feature on them as well, so I'm intrigued to see how that...
seems like they're still unique, you know?
Yeah, they're not purely just cosmetic. And I think I've seen a little bit of that in action, when you can see some, like, afterburner stuff flying out of the Extreme Gear. Yeah. But, like, yeah, that's how that is.
Dude, Hatsune Miku's Extreme Gear, she's so cool.
You know, it's funny that there were a bunch of, during the leaks thing, which I'm not going to go into depth about, during the leaks thing, I was like, that's all pretty cool. And then I saw someone put, said Hatsune Miku, and I was like, oh, wow, that's cool, okay, cool. And then I saw someone say that was false, and I was like, oh, that's too bad. You know, because I was like, yeah, we'll see what happens, you know? And then in the trailer, they dropped Miku, and I was like, whoa, okay, cool. So, like, it actually was a surprise to me, because I was like, yeah, you know, I don't know if I believe all this stuff. And also, you know, who knows? But it was kind of fun. Like, I feel like at the reveal, like, they showed off characters people weren't expecting, like Joker, like, you know, he wasn't anywhere in the leaks, so it's like, oh, nice. Like, yeah, cool, they still had some surprises.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see all the other Sega characters. It's why, you know, I'm still not going to buy that digital deluxes, because, again, I have not seen anything in those DLC things, whether they be rumored or true, that I'm necessarily eager to pick up. But the free DLCs look to be all of Sega's own properties, and I'm approaching this from, I want a Sonic and Sega kart racing game, first and foremost. I don't need this to also be Minecraft and Seinfeld and Toy Story. Actually, what am I saying? Like, Minecraft... Not Minecraft. Toy Story and Seinfeld DLCs, hell yeah, I'd be there. Hell yeah.
Never mind.
If a game ever had, like, a Toy Story and a Seinfeld DLC, I feel like it would have to be, like, Lego Dimensions.
I want to see
like,
Kramer
that's the only game
on
I feel like could have
Gear.
ever gotten away with that.
Or
Kramer on Extreme Gear would be so sick.
Fortnite.
Fortnite Kramer. Fortnite Seinfeld actually insane. That would be crazy.
If they had a Fortnite crossover, would that not just be every IP ever, effectively?
They don't have Metroid.
That's true.
They almost did.
I'm so glad, just a side tangent, but I'm so glad that Fortnite are continuing to doing DC stuff since, like, Disney got such, like, a percentage. I think, didn't Disney, like, buy Fortnite or something? But, like...
They have a lot of the stock, or whatever. They have, like...
Yeah. Like, they are big shareholders, and we've seen, like, lots of Star Wars and Marvel lately, so when I saw David Corrin sweat Superman, I was like, okay, that's a must-have.
Is that the new Superman?
Yes. I got a little action figure of him today, and he's just sat on my desk.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, very excited for that movie. In fact, been rewatching the existing Superman movies, and just what a time I've been having. I've only watched one of them so far, and it was one of the most magical experiences ever. But okay, this isn't a Superman podcast as much as I want it to be.
Can be.
Can it?
Yeah, I can talk about Superman.
I don't know enough about Superman. I can listen.
Tell you what, Ian, one day we'll have an off-track episode on Superman, and I'd love you to join me.
Sweet.
So Good Vibes Gaming actually posted a video, kind of like they had similar issues to me when it came to Sonic Crossworlds, and the good folks at Good Vibes Gaming have said they got to have like a hands-on experience with the game at Summer Game Fest, and that the game is a marked improvement over that beta as well. Like,
okay.
So like the item balancing is much better. I think the only thing that they said was a little concerning was that they were on Sonic Speed, which is one of the speed settings, and they found it to be quite sluggish, and that's like the second highest speed in the game. Now, whether that's like a mislabeling or something, I don't know. But it's like
it's named after the man himself.
Yeah, it is true that like the racing aspect of Crossworlds was not the fastest, which led me to believe that maybe that was, like, more the focus was, like, the combat and stuff. But what's the title of this fucking game, guys? Like,
yeah. Sonic Combat Crossworlds.
It is a Sonic Vehicular Manslaughter Crossworlds. Well, it's like that CGI intro, isn't it? Like, Silver's car straight up lands on Amy's head.
Vector, oh, yeah, they all die. It's great.
Yeah, like, it's a classic... It's a classic staple of those Crossworlds openings, or like those racing openings anyway, is that people fucking die in those openings, and we just never talk about it.
It's all for fun. They're all fun dead.
I like to think that Sonic characters are very... I like to think that Sonic characters are incredibly durable. They must be, because it is like Sonic and Knuckles will scrap over anything. Shadow got punched all the way to the fucking moon and survived. Like, these guys are durable.
Sonic fell from space.
Yeah, Sonic has fallen from space.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't good for him, but, like, he fell from space.
And it's like, people were all like, oh, Amy hitting Sonic with a hammer is abuse and stuff. And I'm like, guys, she's another violent character in a very violent world, but I'm pretty sure she's just as durable as the rest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all that stuff always, I think, just comes down to the basis is like, oh, I find this annoying for whatever reason. You know, whatever that reason may be. And then they then go, okay, well, why do I find it annoying? And they go, well, oh, maybe it's like abuse. Yeah. That makes sense to me. It's like bad. It's like morally bad. There you go. I got it. And
see, this is the thing is, like last week I was complaining about the Marge Simpsonification of Amy Rose, but like it's those kind of arguments that like, oh, she's abusive. Like they all stem from her gender. Like. Because Knuckles and Sonic, like, Knuckles will be like, hey, Sonic, did you move my coffee table by, like, an inch? And Sonic will be like, haha, what are you gonna do about it, Knuckle Breath? And then he'll be like, right, I'm gonna fucking break your legs, throw you off into the stratosphere, and then he'll come back fine. It's Peter Griffin logic. These guys can get hurt when the plot commands it, but, like, it doesn't fucking matter. These guys are durable.
Oh, yeah,
which is good, because I would hope that Rouge would be durable. She'd need to be.
That's badass.
That's the most perfect response I've ever heard to one of my many moments.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I always just think, like, these conversations about, like, what Amy should or shouldn't be, it's just like, guys, maybe the problem is just that it's annoying. Like, it's just really boring. That she's just like, hello, I am Amy Rose, please talk to me. Or don't talk to me. That's your prerogative. I don't judge. It's like, man.
In the spirit of the competition.
Please talk to me or don't talk to me.
Please talk to me or don't talk to me. It's up to you. It's your choice. I wish you all the best of luck, but I ask you to keep the trash talk to a minimum. Oh, me.
That's so true, Marge Simpson. Thank you.
I need to find
go back to Fortnite now.
I need to find some, like, Sonic Frontiers Amy quotes. Or just Amy quotes.
Yeah. But, you know, she's got, like, thousands of them, so I'm sure some of them are good.
Homer, this way there's no way out of marrying me.
Marge?
Marge, that's abuse.
Marriage, that's abuse on this cartoon TV show, The Simpsons.
Bart! And then he strangles him.
Yes, strangles Bart.
No, that's funny.
It's your fault.
Funny, it's okay.
Like, I want to see Homer strangle Sonic.
That would be great.
Oh my god, Homer Simpson for Crossworlds would be insane.
Oh my
Man, I
god,
can't
that would
believe
be
you went into
insane,
spoilers
wouldn't
like
it?
Could you imagine? It'd be great.
I mean, we're getting Nostalgia Critic for Crossworlds, so I think Homer Simpson would be a good idea.
True. That was crazy.
I'm so excited.
AVGN for Smash 6 or whatever.
Maybe just let Doug have his thing instead of constantly bringing James up, huh? Maybe just let Doug have his thing.
Never. No, I like Doug.
I like Doug as well.
I've never actually watched a single AVGN. I've only ever watched his
Really?
like his
Yeah.
normal person stuff, his James Rolfe stuff. So
His normal stuff.
I
never watched Nostalgia Critic either outside of like 1 or 2 when I was a child. So and they were just the Sonic videos. So
Oh, I remember, yeah, like, Nostalgia Critic hated Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I believe Doug thought it was okay. But Nostalgia Critic was like, nah, this is fuck up McDumbass.
oh yeah, he has the whole part where he goes, "Pumpkin? Pumpkin what? What? Pumpkin? Pumpkin what?"
But that's
He couldn't
precisely why I adore that show, is just, like, it's so freeing to have a show where logic dictates that a man could grow a pumpkin out of his hand. For no reason.
That video, so I'll always remember that video because because I watched it and I loved that he really liked Sad AM, like he was talking cool stuff about it, and so like there was a part where he's talking about Robotnik and he says like, "Oh Jesus, it sounds like he's having an orgasm with every word he says," and I just thought the way he said it was funny, but I didn't know what he said. I was just like, "Oh, like haha, he thinks it's funny, his voice."
Oh,
So
I think...
I call my mom in and I say, "Oh, look at this funny video," and he goes, "Jesus, it sounds like he's having an orgasm with every word he says." She's like, "Yeah."
But there's that bit, yeah, where Robotnik is like, "It warms the cockles of my heart," and then Doug goes, "The less I hear about your cockles, the better."
Yeah. Oh,
I
boy.
can't do a Doug impression.
Quick, Dylan doing Doug Walker impression.
Yeah, please, Dylan, be the Nostalgia Critic.
I can't do it. I can't do that one.
Sonic
Okay,
Racing
that's okay.
Crossworlds is a game that came out this year, and it features myself as the Nostalgia Critic.
Myself is the main character.
One of my attack moves is the Bat Credit Card!
The back credit card.
I'll kill you! I'll kill all you! Okay, yeah, this is great. We just sat here reminiscing on Nostalgia Critic.
I mean, is there anything else to talk about?
No, there is quite a bit.
No,
It's,
not really.
Part of me does want to wait for Trey a little, but like at the same time, it's like if he'll be here when he gets here. Tell you what, I'm gonna do some swap around topics. But I definitely would like Trey to be here for one of them. So, okay, is there anything more to talk about regarding Crossworlds? Is there anything else?
Minecraft.
I don't really care about that, but you guys can talk about it to your heart's content as far as...
Yeah, Minecraft is in there. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Minecraft is in there. That's pretty cool for the people who like that. All right, that's my opinion.
Minecraft is in there.
Thanks.
I am still yet to see the new film with Jack Black, but I think it has a chance at being the best video game movie adaptation of all time, as one of the few video game movie adaptations that's actually better than the video game it's based on. That's right, guys. If this movie is just Jack Black saying Minecraft things, it will have filled one part of the criteria that the real Minecraft doesn't, and that's being fun.
That was
Oh,
awesome.
now.
I just don't
I think
find
you just
Minecraft
haven't.
to be
I think you're just
enjoyable.
not good at the game. Maybe. I think you're just bad at it.
Maybe everything is just too slow, and building things pixel by pixel feels counterproductive.
Pup's never played in a sandcastle in his life.
No, I love
It seems the
sandcastles,
man
but like
done
this is,
pixel art is
Minecraft
not
is
fun
like-
with pixels.
Minecraft is like I've got to go harvest every little bit of sand to make my sandcastle, every grain of it. It's like, bitch,
Yeah.
just give me a bucket.
What?
Like,
It's called hard work, pup. It's called effort.
yeah, and we do that when we're at work, not when we're playing. That defeats the object. Work and play, you make play work, that defeats the object of play.
I think he's got us.
I guess all work and no play does make Jack a dull boy. I've heard this.
Yeah, and all work and all work makes Minecraft a very dull experience.
I think you're just not good at it, though.
It doesn't matter if I'm not good at it. I don't want to be good at it. It's so boring. Like, here's the thing, is I've seen so many incredible art pieces made in Minecraft. And I genuinely, like, hats off to the people that do that and have the patience to do that. And when they're not in creative mode. Like, genuinely, like, they must have the patience of a saint. I would love to have them be my dietitian, because you're gonna need some fucking patience for that. But, like, I can't do it myself. Okay. Not myself. I'm just too ADHD. And I know that, like, Accelerate, you say just play creative mode if you wanna. That's what Lego's for. That's what Lego is for. I've got Lego. But I've just thought of a great new video game. What if you made, like, a realistic sandcastle simulator?
I bet there's... Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool, I guess.
Like, you have to, you know, go up to the bucket, and then you press a button to hold the bucket. It could be like, you know, Surgeon Simulator, where, like, you control each hand and each finger and stuff, and you have to coordinate that.
Yeah, it's like Heavy Rain.
Or Octodad.
Octodad is a great game. Imagine Octodad Sandcastle Builder. Like, one of my favorite parts of Octodad was genuinely, I think the bit where you're just scanning items at the supermarket.
It's about as difficult as it is in real life. You're like...
I mean, the difference with Octodad is that there's less people getting in your fucking way.
I guess you're right, yeah.
Okay, so here's just something, something being said in the chat here by A. Wright. Have you guys talked about the fact that a lot of the hands-on previews are walking away saying that Crossworlds is genuine competition for Mario Kart World?
I haven't heard that, but I'm glad that people are liking it. I mean, it looks fun. That.
Yeah.
It was fun. In the demo. I liked the demo. It was a good time for most part.
Izuka has been quite smart in one interview where he talked about Crossworlds. He said kind of like, obviously Mario Kart World is doing an impressive thing with its open world. With Sonic Crossworlds, we wanted to just stick to the basics of racing effectively. Make that very fast-paced moment-to-moment experience. Now, he's clearly saying that, you know, that was their intention because that gives them an edge over Mario Kart World in some regard. And I gotta say, good spin. Genuinely good spin. But obviously it was made that way because that's how a kart racer was. And no one thought to do what Mario Kart World did until Mario Kart World.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was, like, insider discussion among someone at Sega that probably, you know, maybe heard a guy say a thing about maybe Nintendo's trying something, but I doubt it was what made the big decision, you know?
Yeah, but, like, yeah, I definitely don't buy the whole, like, oh, yeah, in contrast to Mario Kart World, we wanted this to be a... Nah. What happened was you didn't think to make it like Kart World, but this might work out for you. Like, genuinely, like, the spin is good. That's good spin. And,
oh, yeah.
And I think, you know, that could be true of the game. Like, I haven't played Mario Kart World, but a question I've been asking is, do I need a kart racing game to be open world? If it means, like, the price is a little lower, maybe I'd be happy to ditch the open world aspect. I don't know, but I feel like that's kind of the whole point of Mario Kart World. So it's, like, it's hard to even say that. But, like...
Yeah, I mean, it's in the title.
It's like saying just because this racing game has gone open world, does every racing game need to do that? How about Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which just offers you relentless spectacle, but within that simple moment-to-moment racing format? So I think it's going to be a contender for those reasons. And if it is as good, as highly improved as the people that have played it are saying, then I think we're onto something here, genuinely.
No, I am genuinely excited for it just because, I mean, it's a very small thing, but it matters a lot to me, which is just, like, the music sounds better. Like, I saw a bunch of clips of people comparing, like, the music, and it's like, no, they actually did, like, add more instruments, or they, you know, lowered something and made it sound a little better, or I don't know, musical jargon.
I think they, a lot of it is where they've swapped out, like, digital instruments for real ones and stuff. So rather than using VSTs for, like, I don't know, like a trumpet or something, they're using an actual instrument. And we have heard that before, like, in the IGN preview of Sonic Forces, like, the results screen had a very synthetic orchestra, whereas in the final product, it was a real one. Like, this does happen.
it just felt weird in this scenario that would be the case, because it's just like, well, it's a racing game. How do you not have at least like one song done for a track, you know?
Yeah, when I heard the music, I was like, I don't know what they're going for. It sounds kind of like elevator music, really. Like I thought, you know, if Sonic Racing Team Sonic Racing, was like one of the strongest Sonic soundtracks, and it was partly because we had a lot of remixes of songs that sound like the way the song was always supposed to sound, and that is also partly the benefit of having T-Lopes on board as well. But like when you heard like Sand Road and stuff, it's like, this is how I always imagined this track sounding, like if it had a big budget and stuff. It's those beautiful translations. Whereas for Crossworlds, I was like, it sounds like elevator music. Why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, why?
And then you've got the fake choir as well, which I really didn't like. And I'll say this, the fake choir thing is still there from what I've seen. But yeah, the songs have a bit more energy to them now, especially like Wonder Museum. Like there's been lots of gameplay of that, and you can now hear it's got a much more funky sort of driving sound to it. And I'm like, that's great, that's perfect. Less elevator music, more fun. So good. I think
whoa.
I think a lot of this speaks
Dude,
to the
I love
fact...
it when things are fun. It's my favorite.
I think that a lot of this does speak to the fact that I haven't really played beta tests before. So there's probably a lot of things I'm sweating it over that Sega could probably just tap me on the shoulder and say, we got it, don't worry.
Or like, we already knew, you know?
Yeah, like, you don't need to keep on yapping there, Mutt.
Well, that's what a beta test
I mean, that was crazy last week when you guys talked about that in the file, correct me if I'm wrong, in the files of Frontiers, they did account for the idea of like, oh yeah, the pop-in sucks, let's just give it an animation and a sound effect, and then it just didn't work, and that's why it's not in the game. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that these developers are smart people. Like, sometimes you'll see, like, little mistakes and stuff in video games that make you go, surely this is just a competency issue. Like, for example, the incorrectly scaled subsurface scattering on Sonic in Frontiers. It's like, how do you fuck that up? And the squished cutscenes in Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations. How do you fuck that up? But where am I going with this? I actually don't know where I'm going with it.
I don't know.
No, most of everyone in game design is a very smart
Baffling.
person. Things can slip through the cracks because there's a lot that they're accounted for, I guess. But, like, I think it shows that, yes, they are listening to criticism. Yes, they are aware of the problems. They're smart fucking people. I don't need to yell at them, basically. Imagine me yelling at them. Like, that's so stupid. Like, dumbass. Ian, actually, there's something that I did want to discuss with you. Was obviously there was quite a major bit of news regarding a new Sonic card game, Sonic Blitz. Do you know anything about this?
I do.
Yeah. So what do you know?
Just that in the files for the Sonic Blitz card game, there were files for Archie characters. Not only Archie, but like Underground, like Sonia Manic. I don't think there was any Fleetway guys, right? Or like,
sadly not.
manga.
I'm not seeing any Porker Lewis or Techno.
Yeah,
I'm not
which
seeing
if
any
anything,
Nicky the Hedgehog.
which if anything makes me think it's like even more real or likely, because it's like okay, well, you think like if it was like a fake thing, you would just put in everything, right?
Yeah, true. And none of the Archieverse characters that were in there were under lock and key from Penders. They were all the ones that Sega owns.
Yep, except for Rotor.
Wait, really?
What is the deal with that character? Did Penders just make that character?
Rotor?
Yeah.
No.
Why is he the one?
Yeah,
only one?
Rotor's owned by Sega. He's just not in there.
Oh, I thought you meant he wasn't owned by Sega. Okay.
Well, I know
no,
that,
like he's not in the files.
another interest.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I don't
don't
think
need
Manic
him.
is in the files either.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I thought
I think just
Sonia
Sonia.
Manic. Oh, okay.
Maybe they would steer clear of Manic
Weird.
because it maybe goes a little close to Scourge. I don't know, but like, I mean, they've been a little more ballsy with
Hello.
Penders. With
Oh no,
Penders baiting.
Green Sonic. Oh.
Like Penders baiting has gotten a little more interesting in the recent years, especially like with the DCX Sonic, where Beast Boy becomes Knuckles, which is really funny.
Yeah, that was super good. Did you see him post on Twitter where they had like a new Knuckles thing where it's like he's in a cowboy outfit and he just says, you know, thanks Sega for and he was just being very passive aggressive in a funny way. He's like, thanks Sega for giving a shout out to K-Nox. I appreciate it. To future Knuckles. It's like,
God.
dude, Ken, I love you.
Ken is so silly.
How can you think that?
Has he seen the OVA? I mean, to be fair, with the jacket and shit, I can kind of almost see it a little bit, because Knuckles does not usually wear a jacket. But you can't claim the hat as yours. And the hat is really just an extension of the jacket.
And that's the thing, is that he has the cowboy hat, so what would you give him? Oh, maybe like a jacket, or make him look kind of like a ruffian or whatever. Yeah, duh.
I mean, yeah, he's
so,
meant to look like a treasure hunter. And given that the outfit is not identical to Nox, it's like... Why is he called that?
It's not. It's some original design that like only you could have come up with. Like, come on, Ken.
I mean, to be fair, are any of them?
No, but at least he has legal, things to those. Just being like, oh, he has a cowboy outfit. I came up with that. It's like, no, you didn't.
I just found an image when I was looking up like Penda's Knuckles, and seeing like the Nox outfit and stuff. I'm just gonna put this in the back rooms. I hate the way this is drawn.
This is from the current stuff, because
no, it's not from the current
Knuckles.
stuff. It's kind of like a midway point, but I hate this. It looks like I'm looking at a naked man.
I hate his proportions there.
Oh, I love that one. He looks like he's wearing a skin suit. Awesome.
He does. He looks like he's wearing a red morph suit.
I understand.
Said yes.
I understand it's an art style for some, and I appreciate that, but I don't see the appeal in Sonic characters having any kind of human anatomy.
Oh, it's disgusting, and I love it. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that like a big part of why people hated the original movie Sonic as well? Like, was the humanoid proportions and visible joints and stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was a major problem for me.
Hi, Trey.
It just doesn't work. Like, that's just it. Like, I don't know. Like, again, I'm with you where it's like, if it can be pulled off and there's some appeal to it, then that's one thing, sure. But like, I don't know. Like, these characters are cartoons for a reason. You don't need to have a rhyme and a reason as to why they're fast or why they're strong.
Why they don't have
You know what I mean? Like the suspension of disbelief is already there just by being cartoons, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, they can have, I guess, to some extent, a little bit of proportioning that represents them in a way. Like, for example,
sure,
Boom.
Yeah, like how
you might
Knuckles is.
You might not love the way like Boom Knuckles looks, but like I think it works as a design, and I think Movie Knuckles is kind of the perfection of that.
Movie Knuckles definitely works better than
Movie
Boom
Knuckles,
Knuckles, in my opinion.
He's perfect in every way. Yeah.
If even for the fact that the movie designs have necks, and like that actually helps out the designs a lot more.
But they don't look weird either, because like Prime.
No, they don't look like
necks,
weird
look
or a long
strange.
or like, yeah, they don't look weird. Like, but the reason why like a lot of people have said in terms of Sonic's design, like why the Peach arms don't work, is because like Sonic has shoulders now, in the movie design, so it would just look a little awkward.
He's wearing like a jacket or something.
Like a tank top, like a vest, exactly. But with Movie Knuckles, it actually works out because his shoulders are broader now. He has a neck, and like it can still be proportioned, but his hands are still bigger than like his hands and feet are still accentuated and everything. Like it's still like
so just real quick.
It's still a cartoon.
Real quick,
Yeah.
just for the sake of like clearing up any misinformation, that image of Knuckles was not illustrated by Penders. It came up when I looked up Nox Ken Penders, and I kind of guess I assumed, but no, not the case. And again, no disrespect to the artist, I just personally don't see any appeal in humanoid anatomy on Sonic characters.
Well, at least early on, in like I think Ian would have a better understanding of this than I do. But early on, a lot of the early artists for Archie Sonic, like they were kind of grandfathered in from like other like superhero comic book.
Yes.
Like they were illustrators for other different comic book series like DC and Marvel or something along that nature. And like they can draw human characters very well. These artists can. Like they're very talented at
Ken
human
Penders
characters.
can.
Yeah, Ken Penders. I've
if
seen
you
him draw Spider-Man, and it looks actually pretty good. I was just
I
like,
saw
what
his
the
picture
fuck?
of Spider-Man, and I was quite impressed by that.
Yeah, or if you type in
exactly.
Hunter, Archie Sonic, Ken Penders, you'll probably find it. And it's just Craven the Hunter, but he can draw Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess
So it's
going-
like
Who is human?
they probably
as far
have
as I'm
like
aware.
they probably have these like I guess habits that form or like these like design philosophies that they've just always abided by drawing humanoid characters, like human characters, and they try to apply that with Sonic, and it just doesn't work because Sonic isn't like
He's not.
He
a
isn't
human.
proportioned. He isn't proportioned like a human. He isn't proportioned like Spider-Man.
It would be like asking,
Yeah.
like it would be like asking Alex Ross to do some Rubber Hose characters.
Exactly. Yeah, like the rubber hose. It's a whole different thing. And even in the case of Sonic, there's rubber hose. There's also like the anime accentuated aspect of
Yes.
it too. You know, so it's like
Which a lot
of
them
stuff
almost
that
certainly weren't familiar with. I would
yeah,
say.
it almost goes against like their philosophy of drawing in general almost because they're just not used to it. And back then, like in the 90s, 80s, like yeah, I don't give the art styles of Archie too much flack because it's like, okay, like what else could they have done? They like a lot of these times they didn't even have much reference material to go off of.
Well,
And you only had like the
Hmm.
shows at the time or like the games and
I guess
Yeah,
it was
that's
probably
pretty much
also
it.
harder to find artists who specialize in kind of Rubber Hose in the comic.
Oh yeah,
market.
well yeah, and they also had these people on their payroll already too. So it's like, yeah, these guys are talented enough. Let's throw them on this thing. And you know, they were none the wiser, I guess, because
Well,
they
and
just did, yeah.
yeah, well, and early on, they had Art Mawhinney, who had worked on Sat AM, which is why his stuff looks literally exactly like the show, because he was just a storyboarder on that show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and they also had Dave Manick, who his stuff was a little almost actually more cartoony, where he was kind of leaning more into like maybe like Bugs Bunny kind of territory. So early on, they actually had some really talented guys. It was just more so in the who I guess they're all talented, but they could actually do the style. Like they were kind of more cartoony. And brought
Yeah,
on.
I
exactly.
mean, it's
More so
also
in
like
that-
if you look at some of the early artwork in Fleetway as well. It's like a fucking kid drew it, like some of the early stuff.
That's weird. I don't know how that a lot of that came to be, but yeah, a lot of the mid era of Archie was kind of where they got like Ron Lim, or Jay Axer, and I think like Jay Axer and Stephen Butler especially, their styles of like making them more humanoid, they go into that value of like they overshoot it so far that it then wraps back around to being cool. Because like Stephen Butler can draw superhero characters with that detail and that like harsh black shading and stuff. So when he puts that to Sonic, it's like, okay, it doesn't really look like Sonic, but man, it looks really cool. So
But it's like a cool
this
stylistic
Sonic, you know?
choice. Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
the best way that I can convey this point of like artists have different styles that they like specialize in. Like in the music space, like I'm a musician, but I can't really do like hardcore heavy metal stuff on guitar or drums. You know, that's just not really my forte. I
Like, you
could
probably know how it
try.
functions, you just don't know how to.
Yeah,
it.
I can play the instruments. Like I can do all that stuff, and I know what it sounds like. I know what to do, but that's just not what I specialize in. And it's the same thing with these artists. Like they specialize in different styles, and you know they're good at certain things, but not everyone is good at everything, even within their own
Yeah.
field. So
We all have our own styles, and we won't change.
We won't change.
yeah, thank you.
I'm looking
Did
at.
Ian Flynn write this podcast? That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna,
No,
I'm gonna put an image up on screen as well because I'm looking right now at some of the very early Fleetway art, and what I'm extrapolating from this is that like it doesn't look good, it really doesn't. But what I'm
No.
kind of extrapolating from this is it looks to me like a very good artist was probably given no time to make this, like no time to like clean it up and stuff, no time for.
Oh yeah,
You
like
can
there's also the
see-
crunch aspect of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see like there's talent in there, but it also does have that kind of kids drawing look, especially like with Sonic off in this third panel here, where like what are his proportions? There's no clean line work or anything going on. It just hasn't been
Yeah.
cleaned.
And you can tell that they've probably looked at a lot of like the
He's unwashed.
you could tell they probably looked at a lot of the concept art, not concept art, but a lot of like the key art from like the first game because of how his spines are shaped and stuff like that. Like a lot of the Japanese key art and whatnot. And that's all they kind of had to go off of. Yeah. Like even like how, but even then, like how hands like Tails' hand is drawn in the third panel, it just seems pretty off. So I don't know. It does seem rushed. Not that they're not talented. It just seems
Also,
like
it
rushed,
looks like it's
so.
been colored in felt tip pen.
It does look like a color
Which is
pencil.
weird.
It does look like a color pencil type of finish, you know. But
I feel like
Yeah.
felt pen. Like it really does have a felt pen look.
Felt
to
pen?
me.
here,
felt-
let me zoom in on it because from like okay, yeah, you're right.
Especially if you
'Cause
look at
from,
like the
a-
curve of like Sonic's
yeah.
head on that bottom left panel, that looks like a felt tip pen shading.
Yeah, I can see it. Or like a marker almost. Like it looks more marker-esque.
And again, no disrespect
with
to
the
anyone
finish.
working on this. It's just, to me,
No,
this
absolutely
looks like,
not. Yeah.
this looks like someone who knows how to draw these characters, but hasn't had the time to, like, polish these up.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Many Hands from Archie?
No.
No, how many hands do they have?
Many.
That
yeah.
sounds
So
like a horrible... That sounds like something you would
Wait.
make an
I
artist
know what you're
draw
talking about.
if you're
Is
feeling
this like
sadistic.
So is the mini hands like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different like artists, or like or even then like a bunch of different like smaller inexperienced artists that were working on it?
That seems to be the idea, because I asked Carl Bullers about this, who was one of the writers. I just said, like, who's Many Hands? And they were like, as far as I know, like, that's just like a code name you use, like, whenever it's like, oh, you got a bunch of artists on and no one really wants to have full credit for it or whatever, you know. Because they were known to do kind of the two worst visually issues of Archie, where one of them was an issue where clearly they didn't have enough time to get an issue out, or something came up, so they literally just took a script from a Sad AM episode and then just redrew the episode, like just took shots from it and just drew it into the thing, and it looks like a child drew it. And then there's another super special where it's a story where Sonic fights Ixis Naugus, and there is like 6 pages that are just black screens or like panels, and it's just black, and then there are like 6 other pages that are just a snow filter you could have probably found on like, you know, like some editing software, and they just smeared it across the thing and they just put speech bubbles there.
That's awesome.
And people have always wondered, like, who is Many Hands? And you know, we don't know. But you would think the answer would just be something very simple of like, oh yeah, we just kind of got everybody together and we drew some sketches and, you know, whatever. But someone asked Ken Penders this, and his response was, you know, when I worked on Archie, you know, the reason I won the case was because, you know, I had so many people in my corner who knew I could keep secrets and stuff like that. So, you know, there are some things I'll just have to take to my grave. I'm like, what does that mean?
Have you ever...
What is Many Hands? What is Many Hands?
Speaking of the Many Hands thing, though, have you ever heard of...
Such a weird guy. I don't know.
You hands.
Have you ever heard of a film director called Alan Smithy?
Yes.
You know.
I have not, no.
Right, Dylan, have you ever heard of Alan Smithy?
No.
He's been directing films since 1955 and still makes films today. His last film being a 2025 short film called Thicker Than Blood. His very first film, fuck me, The Indiscreet Mrs. Jarvis. And that's back in 1955. And he's quite a prolific director, but do you know Alan Smithy's secret to how he's been directing films this long, and how he will probably go on to direct films into like the 3000s?
Until we're dead. Yeah.
He just takes every single job anyone ever gives him.
Like, I mean, you gotta think, like 1955, so 25 minus no. Yeah, Alan Smithy's been writing Doctor Who. Okay, so Alan Smithy would be 70 years old, okay, if he was born in 1995. So that's going based on the assumption
1955.
that he's been making films since the day he was born. Which he definitely has.
That's hilarious.
So he's been directing films
so
for
it's
70
lies.
years. He's been making these movies for 70 years. Presumably he was born before 1955. The secret to Alan Smithy is that Alan Smithy isn't a person. Alan Smithy is a pseudonym given to directors who don't want to admit that they directed something.
Yeah, and they just all use it.
That's awesome.
Alan Smithy's such a funny name too. Like it makes sense. It's almost like a. It's like a what is it? A Bob Randall. It's like, yeah, of course it's a fake name, you know? Like
So the next time you watch Eternally Twilight, an AI's Guide to the Twilight Saga, and you see directed by Alan Smithy come up, you'll know that the director has disowned this movie. In fact, the movie Anatar has Alan Smithy III directing it, so that's crazy.
Alan Smithy the Third is so funny.
And the poster for
That's
Anatar looks
hilarious.
amazing. I want to see Anatar now, looking at the poster for this movie, which I'll put up on screen. But okay.
So does Alan Smithy the Third means that it went through 3 directors and this is the 3rd one?
I have
And they
no
all
idea. No,
hated it.
I think it probably means that this is the 3rd Alan Smithy to exist.
It's so bad it had to be passed down generationally. Like it's not like
This
that,
is my grandson's fault. I accept no responsibility.
This is my
for
grandson. This is my
absolute
disowned
fiasco.
grandson.
One of us has to finish the movie.
But here's a poster.
That's so funny.
Here's a poster for Anatar. Oh, it exceeds 10 megabytes, does it? Wow. Okay, fine, I'll send you a screen. The poster of this fucking film isn't optimized properly, but, okay, so, for you guys, in Backrooms, there's the poster for an Alan Smithy film, Anatar, and, for the stream... I don't know, I think this film looks fun.
Is it like a spoof movie? It looks like a spoof movie.
I don't. I mean, what's it spoofing? Avatar? Why has it got like a duck?
Yes, of course it's spoofing Avatar. What do you mean? What is it spoofing?
I mean, it could be.
Look at the poster.
What makes you say it's Avatar?
Look at the font. That's Avatar.
It's got
just
birds
the
on
Avatar
it.
font.
There's no saying that this is.
That's
based
the
on
joke,
Avatar.
pup. That's the joke. You think the spoof's just the movie again? No, they make a joke with it.
It'd be a mockbuster, wouldn't it? Like.
That's the same thing, yeah.
No, mockbusters aren't always parodies. Mockbusters can just be. We found this movie we liked and we wanted to make that too.
Well, mockbusters are usually like either like a tongue-in-cheek like homage to something, or it is a parody.
Not necessarily. Like
So,
the movie
like-
Metal Man is not a parody about Iron Man. Like it's not making fun of Iron Man or making jokes about Iron Man. It's just a rip-off. And then, like, like, Asylum Entertainment movies. And then you've got, like, Video Brinquedo. Like, Chop Kick Panda isn't a parody of Kung Fu Panda in the same way that Ratatouille, starring Mike Pollock, is not a parody of Ratatouille. It's just a shitty rip-off made to cash in.
All of these do sound like parodies, though, I'll be for real.
But they're
Like,
not
they do,
parodies.
like...
They are just
How can you
rip-offs.
How can you say that? I mean, here's the thing.
It
like,
exists
if
for confusion and capitalization. Basically, the idea is like, oh, Pixar's released Ratatouille. Grandma Doris is going to be asking her kids what
Wasn't
they
there
want
like
for Christmas.
Grandma
We'll
doesn't
release
realize-
wasn't there like a
Ratatouille.
Kung Fu Panda one? Like
Yeah,
a Kung
yeah,
Fu Panda, like...
the little panda fighter, Chop Kick Panda, like the pandas had a lot of them. Cars gets a lot of them. You've
Yeah.
got like the Little Cars in the Great Race. I think the Little Cars now has 4 movies, which is insane. They've surpassed the original. And the movie Sinister Squad by Asylum Entertainment is unironically better than 2016 Suicide Squad.
There you go.
Sinister Squad, I could see kind of being a like that's more of like a homage thing, because like honestly, like Sinister and Suicide don't mean the same thing.
These are
obviously.
these
So-
are all made in bad faith. It is there for confusion's sake and to confuse.
Yeah, well, that like I guess the difference between a parody and a spoof is just whether or not it was made with love or made with cynicism.
I think a
I
parody.
guess, you know?
I think a parody actually makes commentary on the thing it's parodying, whereas like one of these is just a rip-off. It's just like,
I
hey,
mean, not necessarily.
the children
Yeah,
yearn
like-
for Kung Fu Panda. Let's make them a Kung Fu Panda rip-off.
Well, like you say it's a commentary, and that can be true sometimes. But there's also like Weird Al, like the song "Eat It" isn't a commentary on Michael Jackson's "Beat It." You know, it's just a funny like. Just a
You're
funny
right,
song about
but
eating
I
a lot
think
of food.
movie
Use
and
the song.
movie and TV
Yeah.
parody are going to be very different from music parody, I guess. Like, I think with a movie
Yeah,
parody, like the movie, like Epic Movie, Meet the Spartans and stuff, they all have a little bit of commentary about like the blockbuster climate and like the films that they're basing their stuff on, and like those are direct references. Whereas a film like Ratatouille makes no reference to Ratatouille in any kind of honest way. It is just there to be. Look at us, we're just like Ratatouille. You're not here to laugh about it, you're not here to think about it, you're just here to fucking watch it. Like, a mockbuster is generally a scam, like, and not made in good faith, while a parody usually is made in a place of good faith, I guess.
Well, like I said, like the difference
It
is
can be.
between difference is between whether or not it's made in earnest or made with cynicism. You know, I guess the difference between a parody and a mockbuster or whatever. So like,
True, but you can have bad
they
faith
still- they
parodies
still-
as well.
yeah, but like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Like
Like,
all
yeah.
those parodies
movie-
made by PETA.
The
Back
movie,
when they were like trying to go after Nintendo and stuff.
Yeah,
remember?
Peter's parodies are all very bad faith, like their Cooking Mama stuff. But that's not made to deceive anyone. It's made to. Well, I mean, they are actually in Peter's case.
I mean,
but
it's a different kind of deceiving.
It's a different
yeah.
kind of deceiving, yeah.
I'd say they're
But-
deceiving people because they're trying to pretend they're a good organization.
With your
But
average,
That's another thing.
with your average mockbuster movie, it is not made for any form of art, be it parody or anything like that, it is made just to make money banking off of a similar name, basically. It's like
and like I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to say that they are one and the same. I guess it's just like the climate of entertainment that they take up.
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of gray area. There's
Asylum Entertainment are one of the more prolific ones, but I think Asylum Entertainment in parts have been oddly smart with some of their ideas, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't result in a good movie. But, like, for example, when the Avengers came out, they released Avengers Grimm. And it's basically, because Grimm's fairy tales are public domain, they made a story about all the Grimm's fairy tales characters coming together the same way the Marvel ones do. Now, that is a mockbuster because the titling of the movie is Avengers Grimm. It's made to look like the Avengers. They want your grandma to buy this for you, mistaking it for the actual Avengers. But I won't deny
it. There's Grimm on the front, which means it must be edgy and cool, just like you, grandson.
But I won't deny that whoever came up with the idea of basing these off of Grimm's fairy tales was admittedly kind of smart. And then when they made Sinister Squad, they set it in the same universe as Avengers Grimm. So once again, using Grimm's fairy tales. So, like, yeah, I think sometimes you can get smart people on board. I don't know how this fucking came up, though.
I think it just came up because we were like whether or not something was a parody or a mockbuster. But
where did that come from?
Between that.
But where did that fucking come from?
Okay, well, let's bring it back to Sonic. Do you think the Laura Sue Chronicles is a mockbuster?
No.
No, I think it's a genuine attempt to make something things that are not new.
I mean, they're still using at least a little bit of iconography from the Archie stuff. Like, they're trying to deceive people a little bit.
It's a fan film. It's a fan made project.
It's like a spiritual successor almost. That's what it feels like it's trying to be. Like a spiritual successor that is canon.
It's a fan project that's used enough legal loopholes and lawsuits to sell itself, basically.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And sell the company's legal stuff.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I think what Ken Penders has done is
Knuckle Omnibus on the way. I'm excited.
Created an incredibly strange bridge between official media and fan media, and it is not the most dignified thing in the world right now. But I'd be intrigued to see where the future of that could go, where like artists taking back the rights to their own creations could go. That could go in interesting directions. But Penders is not the spearhead for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it like a good while ago. Like, I would love for representation of Archie to come back in some way. I'm never going to be one that's like, I'm always cautious of it because of bad faith actors like Penders. Like, that's it. Like, but he's the only one that's advocating for Archie, I guess, like, in a pseudo official capacity. So it's like, well, fuck,
Apparently, I mean, I think
is our guy?
I think Ian Flynn is like behind the scenes trying to get the wheels in motion. Like, we do know that like the whole Rally for Sally thing was something that was largely put down by harassment issues and stuff, but it was something that Ian Flynn was probably fighting for. Ian Flynn has clearly made efforts to recanonize Styx and, you know, bring in elements that like have been languishing effectively under Sega.
Yeah, even eras of Sonic that ended up being way worse than what's considered the Dark Age. You know, like the Boom era was definitely like, especially financially. You know, now, whether or not people like them more or not is up to you know, your own taste or where you got introduced in, obviously. But like,
and I think one thing
from a financial standpoint, Boom was the Dark Age, basically. You know, like it was pretty bleak.
We're also going to touch on that a little later as well because it's one of our topics. But
okay, my bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I did come in a little late. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I decided to kind of front load the topics near the beginning now, just so that we don't have that problem like running out of time for the main topic, effectively. But like, we're also potentially seeing the changing of the tides with Sonic Blitz as well. Like, with how the Freedom Fighter characters are in the files for that, meaning that they have been acknowledged to some official capacity, and maybe we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I think whether you like Flynn's writing or not is one thing, and it's completely fair if you don't. And if you do, I agree. And I don't think Flynn is perfect, but like I do like a lot of Flynn's writing. But one thing that we will all benefit from is having Flynn as a man on the inside, having Ian Flynn there as someone who can propose ideas to Sega comprehensively, and is maybe getting restrictions off of some things, you know? Like, he's clearly advocating for the writers on the Sonic projects, such as the IDW comics and stuff like that, because he's been among them. So I think, you know, he's a good guy to have in there pitching ideas, whether you like him as a writer or not. Just lucky I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is a little one. This is a fairly little topic. But I wish Frank were here, because he would laugh at this. There's a new line of Hot Toys Cosby figures for Sonic.
There you
What
go.
is that? There's like new action figures? Like
Collectibles. So Hot Toys Cosby. So the Hot Toys Cosby figures are like chibi Hot Toys figures. Now, Hot Toys are obviously incredibly expensive, but their Cosby stuff is generally...
they're incredibly hot. They're at like 500 degrees Fahrenheit at all times.
Cosby figures are like a lot cheaper. So there's a pre-order screen actually on Toys Fan Zone, and they are selling Cosby's Sonic and Shadow pack, or Shawow as they've spelled it here, for $45 for a 2-pack. And obviously you'll have shipping on top of that. And they look kind of nice. I find their eyes a little unsettling to look at, but they look quite nice. I feel like these are kind of like Hot Toys for the sake of Hot Toys. If you want a Hot Toys item, but you don't want to bankrupt yourself, get a Cosby. I really think they need to change that name, though, because that is exactly why Frank would be laughing his head off for that.
I was gonna say, it's probably the worst combination of words that I've ever heard for like the brand of a toy.
Well,
It's almost as bad as the Kong still being called Diddy. Basically. Like it's
now...
by the way, am I back fully? Discord decided to crap out on me for
Yeah,
a
you're
little
back.
bit, but I got the gist of
Sound
what
like
you
it's back,
said,
yeah.
where it's like Flynn being a guy on the inside that's advocating for these ideas, and that definitely helping out bring more representation to these bygone eras that are considered like stains in the, I guess, discography, for lack of a better term. So that's good. That's nothing but a good thing. So I'm all for it. You know.
All right, so I got a picture of the Cosbys up on screen.
Alrighty.
So
I
it
see
is
that.
strange. Some places say Cosbabies, which makes much more sense.
That's also bad. It also sounds awful.
I mean, you want to keep Cosby away from the Cosbabies at all costs, but like you've got here it says on the left Cosby collection, and the Cosbys.
I'm sorry, that's really funny.
They're
I know
gonna
it's
get-
not spelled the same way, but like it's said the same way.
So
I
you
do
can
like these
get-
figures. These are nice figures.
Yeah, you can get Sonic with a pudding pop.
No.
Okay, no, you get Sonic with like a checkpoint. You get Amy with a Green Hill flower. Shadow's running out of a portal ring, so tell me rings aren't canon now, Ian, you fucking crazy man. You've got
Fine.
Cream and Cheese. And you got Rouge with what looks like one of her bombs. Knuckles with a little emerald. Tails once again with a palm tree. Dr. Robotnik
I thought he didn't have anything.
in the...
Honestly, I was like, "Where's Tails' thing?"
You got Dr. Robotnik in the Eggomatic, and then you've got Supersonic with his Chaos Emeralds. Now, with this being Hot Toys, I'm like, could the emeralds not just be emeralds and not be fucking plastic PVC cutouts? But okay. Either way, they are
Cheese
display
has also
pieces.
been banished. He's been banished to the 2D dimension.
Yeah, Cheese has been banished to the second dimension.
Not the poop dimension. Not
No.
the poop dimension.
I think design-wise they're quite nice, but I think it's also a market that I think it's Bandai has cornered with their what are they called? The
The
Bandai ones.
Nendroids.
Nendroids, yeah. I've got a Klonoa Nendroid.
These are
over
kind of like
here.
vaguely Nendroid-esque.
Yeah, except Nendroid's
Actually, I mean,
like
the Dr. Eggman
decomposed.
looks a little bit like a Funko Pop, to be honest, but
I mean, yeah, Cosbabies are effectively Hot Toys' encroachment on the whole Funko Pop audience, I guess.
these look nicer than Funko Pops. They have, like, the Funko Pops with, like, the soulless eyes just really don't do it.
So I actually...
I used to be okay with it, but...
I'm actually one of those people that doesn't mind Funko Pops. I've got quite a few, actually. But there is a part where I draw the line. And it's the motherfucking Amy Rose Funko Pop, alright? I'm gonna fucking talk about this. It's always fucking Amy I've got a problem with. She's always got to act up. But, She can't stand. What's the fucking point of a Funko Pop that can't stand up by itself? She doesn't even come with a stand or anything. And she's not the only one. I've got a Carnage one that also can't stand up on his own. I have to lean him against Venom. It's like, Funko Pops, you have a giant bulbous head, which is great for distributing your weight. You've got big fucking feet. You mean to tell me you can't fucking stand up? Especially Amy, who has not 1, not 2, but 3 feet, because I'm including her hammer as a foot. It's something that can help her to stand up. And she can't fucking stand up because the thing is weighted forward. It's like,
That's
why
crazy.
would you do that? Like, Funko, all I ask of you is to create a piece of plastic that I can stick on a shelf to stand up. And you can't even fucking do that. That's where I can't excuse it. So, here's my idea. A collectible that comes with a stand every time. Or maybe a magnetic backing that you can stick against your wall. It's called Figgies by First for Figures. My affiliate link will be posted in the chat momentarily. Fucking
Well, heck yeah.
incredible. Figgies are cool.
As soon as you said, I wish there was a figure that had like something included, I was like, yeah, okay.
They give you a stand, they give you a magnet, and it's double-sided, and it's wall safe, so you could just stick as many of these up on your wall. You're never gonna have to worry about it with Figgies. It's all in the box, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Grandma would never confuse this for Ratatouille.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not even just taking the piss here with the shilling. Like, I genuinely think these are really cool.
Heck yeah.
Dylan, can you sing the Figgies theme?
What?
Figgies theme song.
Can I sing the Figgies theme song?
There is a Figgies theme song.
I know that I've heard the song. I just don't remember what it is.
I just don't want to.
I also don't want to sing it. Yeah, no, that's.
I get it. I wouldn't want to either.
It's kind of catchy. It's a bit of an earworm.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
Old MacDonald had figgies. E-I-E-I-O.
Hey-o.
And on his wall he had some figgies. E-I-E-I-O.
Look at all of them go.
It just becomes sad singing.
With a good nice here and a jammin' there.
There.
Alright, okay. So Cosby's, we've talked about Cosby's.
Great
Right.
bit.
Iconic.
Fantastic bit.
Make sure you clip that one, Dylan.
Yeah, clip that one,
No.
everyone. I can't wait to put that on our YouTube Shorts trademark.
Tell you what, I'm gonna put the next topic as a negative topic. The next topic will be negative, but the topic after that will be
Ooh.
positive. Okay, so here we go with the negative. I've got written down here on the weird document, Sonic Rumble is going to be a dad, and the baby is a dog because they fucking screwed the pooch.
No,
Because-
no. Actually, Sonic Rumble's the dad, and he's been out to buy milk, and he's not coming back. Like, that's what's happening right
So
now.
Sonic Rumble is being
He's
rebranded.
posting on Twitter that he's out there, which is the sad part.
Sonic Rumble is now being rebranded to Traffic Jam Simulator. Izuka states that it gives us the experience of waiting. If Team Sonic Racing was a green light ride, this is a red light ride.
You're ridiculous.
Beautiful
How long
gambit.
did it take you to think of this?
It didn't. I'm doing this all on the fly because I'm so smart. But like,
That's awesome.
yeah. So we all joked, except for you, Ian. You weren't here, but we all joked about pre-season 5. We all were joking about this when we said they're gonna make it to pre-season 5, and I said there needed to be a release date in June. We need a release date before there's a pre-season 5 at the very least. But we were all kind of in agreement. There cannot be a pre-season 5. That would be just embarrassing. Are we all in agreement? Say aye.
Yep. Still in agreement.
Aye.
Yep. Aye.
All right. So pre-season 5 is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, let's go!
And unfortunately, on the features that come with season 5, being released is not one of them. So once again,
Aw.
buy your tickets to Cartman Land while stocks last. But we made it. I booted Rumble up yesterday, saw pre-season 5 is here, and just stared at the ceiling. It's like, you guys shouldn't be celebrating that. You don't want to advertise that. You want to keep dead quiet about that.
I just don't get it. I think that's just my thing, because like a lot of people And like the thing is that I'm not oblivious to like the reason why games get delayed and stuff like that, right? Like none of us are. We all know the hardships of developers going through a lot of shit, right? Like of course, like all that stuff happens. I think my thing is that the game is out for all intents and purposes. The game's already out for
a while
for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I think another thing is that they're still advertising like skins and different like events and stuff like that, like all while under the guise of like, oh well, you know, we're still working on it. We're still working on balancing, and it's like, okay, like why are you working on balancing for, I don't know, like. And excluding a select few regions for balancing issues. You know what I mean? Because they implemented all the changes that they wanted to within the week of that announcement.
Yeah, that's correct. Like, the reason it was delayed is something that was addressed the day after. So,
yeah,
like,
pretty much like immediately. And it's
so,
like
I'm not
I get you gotta
that.
like I get you gotta do like balancing and stuff like that, but like for live service games, that's something that you do over time. Like Fortnite's an example of like that game. That game's balance has been like reworked like so many times over the past like 8 years that game has been in the forefront of, you know, live service games. So it's like I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Like I'm all for developers taking their time, but like this is a situation where at least the marketing team behind it really like dropped the ball in terms of like when this would be released or like what kind of game they even want to make, you know? So it's like
yeah, and it's like there's the talk about like, oh, it needs to be perfect though. It's like, okay, where has this energy been in the entire industry for the past 10 years? That's never the reason. Secondly, this game is literally very polished compared to a lot of paid releases that have come out of the Sonic franchise.
Yeah, it's a lot of anything. Not even just like Sonic, just anything. That like
it's a very polished game.
Like for me, and I'm not saying that they have to pull like a Cyberpunk or anything like that. But like, you know, that game was released in a very terrible state, but they were able to fix everything, and now it's like one of the best games that you can play nowadays. I've been playing it on my Switch too, and it's awesome. But like, I'm not saying that they have to go that, but like Sonic Rumble is nowhere near the state that Cyberpunk was in when that was released. Anyways, so it's like, what are we doing? Like in my
No Man's Sky or anything else like that.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is another example, and No Man's Sky actually fits a little bit better just because like that is like a continuously growing game, not live service in the same vein, but like still like the community is a big part of that game, right? So it's like the thing is that live service games, it's like you release it and then you make it better as time goes on. It's not going to be a 10 out of 10. You know,
yeah, why were they releasing Sonic Frontiers like it's a live service game while releasing Sonic Rumble like it's their meticulous magnum opus?
Yeah, like Sonic Rumble's the next mainline game, and they want to make sure they get it right. It's like, no, like this is a Fall Guys, you know, ripoff or parody or mockbuster, whatever we want to say. Like it's
an homage.
It's an homage to Fall Guys, you know? It's a commentary on Fall Guys.
That's what it is. It's a fucking Fall Guys. I mean, I suppose you could say that Ratatouille is Ratatouille inspired, but at some point you've got to draw a line.
Oh yeah, well, what I'm saying is that
there's some passion in this. Like,
I would say that's Ratatouille derivative.
What I'm saying though is that this is a party game, for lack of a better term. Like this is a party game, and I'm not saying that like the genre of game is like dependent on like whether or not they have to spend more time on it. Like, of course, spend time on it. But for me, it's like this game's already released in a lot of other areas. So like, what's really the holdup for like America and other regions specifically?
Yeah, I've gone from like asking where is it to why isn't it?
Why?
Why is it? Also,
why is
I know this is kind of sudden, but I actually have to run because I have dinner at 5 and I kind of forgot.
That's fine. Do you want to just quickly promote some stuff before you go?
Check out the Magnificent Motobug Direct on my channel if you like Sonic sprite animations. Watch out for episode 2 on Monday. Yeehaw!
Hell yeah, I will be watching
on Pip Productions channel.
Good seeing you, Dylan.
Yeah, I can
Also-
see you guys. Sorry, I thought I would have stayed
Yeah.
longer, but I forgot that I had this little cookout thing I had to go to. So
Always a
Oh,
good
also
time.
too,
But I
I will,
will enjoy the
definitely.
cookout.
You're gonna be at 2Me Games
Yeah.
as well, so
yeah,
that'll be
of
fun.
course. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'll see you next week as well. But I'll see you guys soon. Talk to you all soon. Just, good times as always.
Yeah, see
yeah,
you,
alright.
TMG,
Alright, I'll catch
buddy.
you later.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. Bye.
There we go.
What an idiot. All right.
Yeah, you traded one guy with glasses for another, and that's me. Hello.
I wouldn't
I'm-
call it a
I'm
trade.
now-
It's too late. This is-
I'm now Dylan. But yeah, because again, with Rumble, and I've said this many times, I can sympathize and empathize with needing to take your time and all this other stuff, making sure that all your ducks are in a row first time around, everything like that. The biggest problem though is that you already advertised it. You've already released it in other regions, and you're constantly promoting, instead of promoting fixes for the game and a release date for your other fans, you're talking about events and skins and stuff like that a lot of people can't access. So it's like, do y'all even want to release the game? Do you feel like this is good enough?
I
What's
would actually
going on?
respect them if they put out a statement just saying, so you're probably wondering where Sonic Rumble is. The answer is in a single bullet point that just says, I don't wanna.
Yeah, it's just SpongeBob being like, I don't feel
Yeah,
like
or
it,
just,
you
I
know?
am too sleepy to release Sonic Rumble today, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I probably
And
would've
they
started
already
doing
kind
by
of did
now.
that, where they were like, yeah, can't wait for y'all to see what we got in store, and someone said the release date, and they were like, no.
No,
Lol.
sorry,
So,
uwu.
Yeah, no, sorry, oh whoa.
No, yeah, we had
Alright.
someone, there was someone who commented on the last Rumble post, and he had a picture of one of the Sonic skins and said, oh, I love that version of Sonic. It's really a shame, though, that I can't play this game because I'd really love to unlock him, and I don't know if he's going to be coming back to the item store. And they just responded, we're glad you love this version of Sonic. It's like, well, that you might
Alright.
as well have not responded, to be honest.
Yeah,
And you know that at the end of the day, there's it's just one guy who made a decision, and everyone else on the team is probably like, why can't we release this?
Yeah, it's ready. That's the thing. If I played it and it was like, I'd say, but it's not. You know, it's
But also,
genuinely a really
that's the
polished
point of
game.
these games is that you can just release them and then fix them as they go. And you're not even
that's what I'm saying.
at that stage.
Yeah.
You're good to go. You're actually good to go.
It's my super exclusive Sonic game, and you're not allowed to play it. Only I could play it.
Watch them cancel it or something, and they say we wanted to, we thought we could create an experience for everyone, but for the sake of development, we decided to put it away. Something at this rate, it's cursed, right?
Obviously, Fire Festival 1 didn't come together, but we'll be back with Fire Festival 2.
Indeed.
Sorry, I meant Sonic Rumble. Sonic Rumble 2 coming soon.
Yes.
I can't wait for fucking
with-
Sonic Rumble 2 to release before Sonic Rumble.
Well, at this point, Crossworlds was announced well after, it was released well after Rumble was announced, and that's obviously getting a release date now and everything, and it's what's going on? What's happening?
I need to make one of my many Photoshop memes where I've just made a fake Amazon listing. I'm gonna make one for Sonic Rumble 2. And have a release date that is really soon. Alright, well anyways. Alright, we got one last topic for today if we're feeling quite satiated with our Rumble discussion.
Yeah.
Our Rumble grumblins, if you will. So the final one. In a recent Summer Game Fest interview with Takeshi Iizuka, he talked a little bit about kind of where the Sonic franchise was at 10 years ago and where it is at now. So, have you guys read any of this?
I've read a little bit of it.
I know the main part, but yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to read the quotes just so we can
Sure. Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead. Just for the audience sake too.
I shouldn't have
Just in
closed
case.
that tab. Sonic's Lost Decade. Here we go. It's I think a Sonic Stadium article. It's loading. Here it is.
That
It
sounds
is
right.
on sonicstadium.org. Okay, right. Loading it up. So, Iizuka on Sonic's Lost Decade. So here's the quotes. 10 years ago, I moved from Tokyo to Burbank. At that time, the Sonic brand was not in a very positive space. A lot of people were bashing on the brand. They really weren't happy with the things coming out. so we hired them to become brand ambassadors in the case of fucking Game Grumps. He didn't say that last part, but like, it's just, obviously that's not Izuku's fault.
Yeah.
And he says, when I think about it now, like 10 years ago, what was happening 10 years ago, and what's happening now, I can't really believe some of the things that have changed. As a game creator, I was previously inside of Sega. Nice. Working on games and managing teams. Then everything started changing. Now we have Netflix content that's being created. We have movies that are coming out. Instead of just looking at games, it's like there's 150% more stuff coming in. What I do at work has changed. The people I meet have changed. Even with things like working inside the entertainment industry, you know? We're all from the game industry, but now we're working with movie industry people. They're a completely different industry in the way that they think and that they act. How they create content is completely different. And then I got to walk on the red carpet for a movie premiere. It was a blue carpet, you fucking idiot, and I walked it. There's so many things that are new. 10 years ago, I didn't think any of us could have believed that this would become the normal reality. Thinking of it now, and us being successful compared to 10 years ago, it's like 180 degrees. We were fighting to survive. It's totally different now. So this is quite interesting, because it's a very candid acknowledgement of the kind of U-turn that we've taken in the recent decade with Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, like, the 2010s, strong start with colors and generations, but after that, the 2010s were one of the rougher periods in Sonic history, and I think it was often very speculated, the kind of place that the IP was in, whether it was in a really bad position at the time, or whether that's just kind of how it felt to us because of the products coming out. But, like, we are kind of hearing straight from the horse's mouth that, like, yeah, the 2010s were a rough decade for Sonic. Sonic had a rough transition to that particular decade. And I think, you know, we're mainly talking about the back half of the 2010s as well. Like, he's kind of, without saying it, referring to, like, the Sonic Boom brand as well. Like, Boom was obviously very sadly an experiment that absolutely failed. And, like, Sonic Forces coming out the way it did, I guess, wasn't a surprise. And then, I guess, like, getting the people that they did for Sonic Mania was obviously a very smart move. And I think without Sonic Mania, the franchise would probably be in a much worse position than it is. That and the movie as well, obviously, has helped things a lot, too. But, like, Mania is a very odd little diamond in the rough when it comes to the 2010s, as T. Lopes called you out for pointing out on Twitter.
Like, literally, I don't even understand. And to give some context, I said, I'm not going to say anything bad about anything, but, like, I said that, like, one of the reasons why, like, and I still stand by it, but, like, one of the reasons why Mania was so revered is because, holy shit, we had nothing to latch on to as a Sonic fan, like, at that time. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, we were even terrified that, like, you know, Christian Whitehead was going to screw it up, and I know he wouldn't, because he did, like, the ports and everything for iOS, but, like, there was still that thing of, like, Sonic Team's going to fuck it up somehow, and in some cases they did because they tied it in with Forces. But, it was so revered. I'd be, it's still one of the best Sonic games to date, but it was a diamond in the rough. It was a thing where it's
Forces.
Like, this is the only, like, this is the only thing we can have to latch on to, really. And, like, that's why it was so praised. Like, not the only reason, mind you. It had to be a good game first, right? Yeah. But, like, the fact that it was good and people were able to, like, enjoy it without much caveats, like, that's the reason why it got as much praise as it did, at least from what I can see, you know? And again, like
that was the thing, is, like, it was obviously an exceptional product, but, like, being a good product was good enough for Sonic Mania, really. Like,
exactly, yeah. It didn't matter if we were rehashing old stages again or whatever. Like, the fact that it was just good, like,
nothing you said contradicted the idea that it's a good game or well made.
Yeah, people were like, "No, it got praised because it's a good game." I'm like,
T. Lopes was like, "It got praised because it was like." What do you mean, no? Like, these two things aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And, like, again, like, I don't care, like, how people interpret, like, what I'm saying or anything, but, like,
how many death threats did you get?
I got, like, 3. Which, you know...
no. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, T. Lopes, if you're watching this is why you need to be responsible online.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I can handle some death threats. I'll be good, you know?
Yeah, but you never know who can't. You never know who can't. That's the thing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's
never
fair.
know who can't.
But, But anyways, yeah, no, and I hold nothing against like T or anything like that. Like, of course, he's very attached to the product because
They're on first name basis
his
as well.
first. Yeah, no, we're not. Like, we're not.
Everyone in Hollywood is friends. What are you talking about?
Everyone in the Hollywood elite. Yeah, obviously. But
Mario Kart World. Yeah.
Yeah, but like what was I saying? Like, and that was also his first his first big break in the industry too. Was Sonic Mania as a composer. Of course, he composed stuff beforehand, but no one knew really of T-Lopes until Mania came into the scene, and I don't think that could be
for a Sonic fan. Yeah.
Yeah,
And none of that detracts from the fact that everyone cooked hard on that project.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, animation department, the gameplay, everything. Like, yeah,
it's like saying like Superman the movie, for example. Part of the reason why it was so groundbreaking was because there were no other movies like that at the time it came out. Like, there were no movies like that. However, that does not nullify the fact that the movie is a fucking magical viewing experience all these years later. You know, like, so like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, obviously,
I mean, same with like same with like Iron Man. Of course, we had superhero movies, but nothing that was like that grounded and that well polished and put together.
Yeah, quality and cultural impact are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, but yeah, how do we even get off on that tangent?
I just thought it would be fun to bring this to the world, to bring your perspective as a victim.
Oh, as a victim, thank you. I'll write it in my Google doc.
T-Lopes, ratioing T-Lopes on Pride Month, no less, even though it was a long time ago. Bringing up T-Lopes on Pride Month, no less.
It was a good while ago. But no, and like again, and I want to make this very clear. Like, I don't care or hold any sort of like grudge or anything against anybody that has a differing opinion or a different perspective or anything like that. It was just
myself have
like,
only had nice interactions with T-Lopes, and that's because I'm an excellent musician.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I need to get better at being a musician.
You need to get better with your VSTs.
Yeah.
You know, you got to stop mistaking Sonic 4 Episode 2 soundtrack for the Triton.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, but what was I even gonna say? It was fucking. Yeah, I don't care who but you can't ignore context either. That's what I was saying. You can't ignore context and just think that this stuff happened in a vacuum, and just because something is good or is bad, like that's why it got the reputation it deserved or whatever. Like, no, there's context to everything. There's reasons as to why.
Even Sonic Boom. Like, even the Boom brand. Like, there are reasons why that didn't work out, and it's because Sonic is a gaming franchise first and foremost, and the game they had to represent Sonic Boom on the world stage was Rise of Lyric, a game that was very poorly received, that I still don't think is the worst thing in the world, but I also understand why this alienated a lot of people, and why a lot of people get nothing out of it. It is a pretty nothing experience.
Yeah,
the average person. Oh, sorry, go ahead, T.
Oh, I was gonna say...
Trey Lopes.
No, and I was going to say...
Trey Lopes confirmed.
T-Nobles. But what I was going to say, too, is that, like, the Sonic Broom... The Sonic Broom band... the Sonic... It's just a bunch of brooms playing Sonic music. Anyways, no. The Sonic Boom brand... it was made to appeal to a Western audience, despite the fact that Sonic already appealed to a Western audience. So it's like, why even do that? Like, I think a lot of people were just more so like confused. And then like the TV show, especially when it started, was also a little bit of a nothing burger because we didn't know what to expect from the TV show.
Yeah,
because we didn't know.
Kind of like whatever.
At the time,
yeah, at the time.
Looking back on the TV show, it's like, God, this is really funny. This is so much funnier than it has any right to be. But at the time it came out, people were not clued into what this would be. So it's like when they first saw the first promo image of the silhouettes, it was like, huh? What? Why do they look like that? Yeah, and then you got the first images like, why do they look like that? And then the show, it's odd because the game is more adventure focused. They're going on a big quest, and that's kind of what you'd expect from Sonic. While the show was very sitcom, and it's like...
It was very slice of life too, yeah.
The show itself had a fine little brand identity. The game itself had a fine little brand identity, even if it wasn't, you know, the most well put together thing in the world. But the problem is, the game and the TV show didn't make a cohesive pitch for what this was, and I think the main conversation surrounding all of Boom, what it all dialed down to is, So why did they need to put bandages on the Sonic characters? And I think the thing is, nothing gave a compelling reason for a redesign that people didn't really agree with. Everything that was done in Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric could have been done with the modern cast, because at the time that was made, those characters were flanderized to all hell anyway. Like, so I think... Yeah, there was just no justification for that reboot, which, if I'm to understand, looking at the Sonic Synergy document that was actually shown to me by Blue Wolf Blitz, it shows a lot of, like, the production stuff, and you can see that the developers of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric were really thinking through a lot of crazy, awesome mechanics, and they had wonderful ideas, truly wonderful. But you can also see in Izuka's notes, you get the picture that Izuka was having this forced upon him. He did not want to reboot Sonic. And Sega was saying, reboot Sonic, you're in charge, basically. And he's like, right, well, okay, so this is what happens when you get someone who doesn't want to do it on the project. And I don't think Izuka was doing any, like, punishing the player or something. But, like, ultimately, his heart was not in the Sonic Boom brand. And I think that led to a lot of issues.
Yeah, he probably could have cared less what happened to it.
I mean, that's what makes Forces so heartbreaking, I guess, from like Azuka's standpoint, is that like he really did want to like at least like bring this back to the forefront and bring back modern Sonic in like a big way, and that ended up also it ended up being like too little too late. I've always said that Forces would have like been received better if it was like released like maybe like a year or 2 years after Generations.
Yeah,
but it's the fact that we went through that entire Boom branding thing. It just made it sting a lot more, you know.
I think
like,
the Forces thing was also like with Generations. Generations is undeniably top to bottom a much better game than Sonic Forces, but I think people would be more willing...
for sure.
I think the sentiment would still be it's not as good as Sonic Generations, and that it's not as good as Colors or Unleashed. But I think it would all be a bit more forgivable because, like, only a couple of years after the previous one.
It wouldn't have been... 10
years have passed.
It would have been labeled as the worst thing ever, basically.
10 years have... not 10 years, not 10. Fucking 6 years have passed since Sonic Generations, and, like, you've got a whole new generation as well. Like, you've gone from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, Xbox 360 to Xbox One, and it's like, you're going to expect this to be better. And, like, even if it's not better... You expect it to at least be more expansive. You expect it to build upon the formula that worked about Generations. The problem with Forces is that it doesn't. It is just a minus in every regard. Now, if those minuses came just 1 year later, it could be like, okay, it's a slightly lesser expansion of the idea.
It's like, okay, like if it took the place of Lost World, let's say, for example, like let's say like Lost World didn't exist, it was Forces instead. Then Forces would just be like, okay, it's a little bit of a nothing burger, very cheesy, music's not the best, but like, whatever, we're still getting new content, and like, you know, modern Sonic is still here.
We'd still be riding the high of like, oh, you know, it's probably just like an in-between game.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think like also like with Shadow Generations' length, for example, I would say it's longer than Sonic Generations, longer than Sonic Colors, and definitely longer than Sonic Forces. But Shadow Generations isn't a massively long game. It's about a 4-hour play, maybe. But, and I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, that's too short for it to be the main event game. It needed to be piled in with Sonic Generations. But, again, factor in, it's still longer than what were a lot of our mainline Sonic games back in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
I would say, like, if they released a game that's about Shadow Generations' length every couple of years, that's an okay model, I'd say. Like, I don't need to wait, like, 5 years for the next 12-hour-long Sonic game. If you want to, you know, just do a Shadow Generations every 2 years, something of that scale, I'd be open to that. But you need that frequency when you're releasing shorter games, and that's something they just didn't have in the 2010s.
Also, to give context for, like, the drought of the Boom era between mainline Sonic games, like, the gap between Sonic Lost World and Sonic Forces is technically longer than Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic Adventure. That's a whole console generation. So, like, the gap between Lost World and Forces was longer than the Saturn's entire lifespan. Like, that's how insane the drought was, and, like, how dire the Sonic brand was at that time. Like, people say, like, yeah, the 2000s era was the Dark Age because a lot of it ended up, like, doing a lot of damage, which I don't disagree with, but in terms of, like, financial and reputation and quality of games. Even I would say
Well,
like
just consistency, right?
consistency.
Like Sonic was always
even
around.
yeah, even like let's say you had 06. Okay, I still have the Rush series to look forward to. I still have the handheld stuff to play. I still have a bunch of these cool collections that are coming out for 360 and PS3 that I can still like
that,
pop
and
in.
also like the
and,
Dark Age, like for all its hiccups and mistakes, I'm quicker to forgive a failed experiment than I am to forgive a failed by the numbers project. And that's the thing is, Sonic projects in the 2010s. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about this. I was going to say they're not very experimental, but not really, actually. Like, Sonic Lost World is very experimental, and so is Sonic Boom, just as a brand, is very experimental, too. But it's like, I don't know, I guess the general Sonic vibe became a bit routine after, I think, Sonic Colors, because it was like, Sonic Colors was ultimately chasing the highs of Sonic Unleashed, and it worked. And then Sonic Generations kind of, continued off of that. But the thing is, they weren't
did
building,
that, but better. Yeah,
they weren't building out. They were just refining what was there, and they didn't show any intention of building out. And when it came to Front Forces, it was just slimmed down even further. I think Frontiers, for as shoddily diddly oddly as it is made, Sonic Frontiers showed a willingness to expand, a willingness to try new things, and I think it's why that game works. The fact that it is as jank as it is feels about right for a product that released off the back of the 2010s. Like, this was a beaten up little Sonic clawing and just saying like, hey, I want to make this one a good one, I swear. Don't fuss too much about the extras, just make it good. And that's what Frontiers is to me. And I think since then we've seen everything we needed to see. Like, the 2022, Sonic 2 comes out, like, eyes were kind of moving over to Sonic. Sonic was becoming a focal point in the gaming industry again, and Frontiers came out at a good time because it was just a fun experience. One thing that makes me very warm inside is knowing that, like, in 2024, all eyes were on Sonic. All eyes. Because we had that third movie to come. This was a big deal. Frontiers had ushered in a new generation of fans as well. So everyone was watching. And what did Sega drop? Shadow Generations. And they nailed it across the board. It's a polished experience. It's a fun experience.
So good.
It's some of the best work they've ever done. And they did it at a time when all eyes are on them. The Year of Shadow is just like, fucking take a bow, everybody involved.
Yes.
You guys nailed it.
It's the antithesis of the Year of Luigi that Nintendo did.
You know that New Year's party was probably like the best one they've ever had.
Yeah, 2024's New Year's party. I would expect Takeshi Iizuka to have had every drug under the sun and be just drowning in hookers. Like, it needs to happen.
It's like Sonic team, you guys did phenomenal. Let's get some meth in here and let's just have a good time. Like, let's just get some heroin.
Wait a minute, no, not the meth. That's the one that caused us to make Lost World.
Oh yeah, no, sorry.
All right.
That's right. Yeah, but like, I just hope, and the reason why I'm so hard on the Sonic Rumble team is because, like, you already have the, like, momentum, pun intended, but you have the momentum of people, like, already trusting the brand again and, like, loving it and stuff like that, and, like, you want to make sure that you can maintain that trust throughout. And yeah, Rumble is, by all intents and purposes, a side thing. It's an App Store game,
But, like, people are still watching. Like,
people are still watching. People are still looking at the Twitter. People are still looking at the stuff where it's like, oh, we got these new skins in the game and all this other stuff. Like, and they're watching how, like, they reply to people and stuff like that. And it's like, guys, please, just don't fumble the bag on this. Just don't fumble it. Just please give us a release date and just stick to it.
In 7 years' time, we'll be like, hey, that Sonic Rumble game, how did that shape up? I don't know. Still hasn't released. It's on pre-season 28 now.
Yeah, it's on preseason 376. Yeah, we can't.
Sorry, just another little point I wanted to note on, like, the Year of Shadow thing, as Accelerate brings up in the chat, is the fact that not only was this the game they brought to the world stage and did an amazing job with, it's also the sequel to Shadow the Hedgehog 05, features Mephiles the Dark and extensive references to, like, Sonic 06.
It takes everything that the Dark Ages were, like, flanderized for and makes them so cool that people can't ignore it anymore. And it's like, no, these ideas were actually fire. here's them executed in the best way, or at least like one of the best ways that you could possibly do it. You know,
one of the
like,
guys who was sat next to me at the Sonic Symphony, a nice dude. He hasn't really played the Sonic games for a very long time, not since like Generations 1 and stuff. So he didn't really know much of the context of what was going on. But I know that he was there seeing people in the auditorium before the show, playing the Shadow Generations trailer, and he was seeing people leaping for joy at the sight of Mephiles the Dark and stuff like that. And he was just like, this is really fascinating to see.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, the truth is, when it looks like they're doing a good product, none of this fucking matters. This is all great.
Yep.
And it was just, the Year of Shadow is genuinely a year that deserves its own round of applause. Because,
Yep.
Just spectacular.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
But yeah, I think they are in the best positioning they've maybe ever been in now, like after Year of Shadow. And like Crossworlds is getting a lot of hype for a kart racing spin-off.
I've noticed like the shift as well, because Crossworlds, like, I guess especially when the beta came out, or when the beta was like presented to people, and people were loving it, but also there was a lot of stuff to criticize about it as well, and you've touched on that.
Oh
too.
yeah, it was quite a topic earlier.
Yeah, but like I don't want to get back into that. But now the paradigm shift between a lot I guess a lot of the people that either played it or played it back then compared to now, like it seems like they are genuinely trying to make improvements towards the overall gameplay feel and experience. I have noticed that in recent trailers, the items and the gameplay isn't nearly as hectic, and maybe that's because like maybe they're running a little bit slower. They're not at like the supersonic speed level or whatever it's called, like the CC 150cc.
I think it's partly helped by the fact that a lot of these people are probably playing on single player, or maybe they're playing races with just one other player. Like when you've got all skill players, like then suddenly, I think it's why maybe world play might just not have been the most flattering way to introduce the beta testers to the game. But I think again, it's important to note this is a beta test. It's designed to just gauge feedback, so give what you've got. You know?
Exactly, and like, and I feel like they took that feedback and they're really trying to apply it. And like, of course, like this is the Sega arcade racing team, so like I have no doubt it's going to be phenomenal, like really good.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of the feedback as well as stuff they were already intending on implementing later, because they are smart guys. Like, I think one thing you mentioned as well with the Rumble thing is, it does make me upset as well, because this is a good game. Like, if this were just some piece of shit little thing that they were just holding off on, it wouldn't be a big deal, but this is a really well-made, really fun multiplayer experience. And it's just being suppressed for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Sonic Rumble?
Yeah, Sonic Rumble in that instance.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think it's just mismanagement, because like obviously the people who are working on Sonic Rumble know what they're doing. They've implemented changes pretty quickly, and they were able to like rebalance some stuff relatively seamlessly. It's just they're just not releasing it in the States. And I don't know if it's like a servers thing of whether or not they have to pay more to like have like worldwide servers or whatnot. Like that could be an issue, but like this is also like Sega's a big boy company. They can afford that, you know? And like if they couldn't, then why would you even promise a live service game in the first place? Regardless, I have like
a Kickstarter
very
up. Sonic Rumble Kickstarter.
Yeah, Indiegogo for Sonic Rumble.
It will go the way of the Super Sega.
I just hope it isn't just like, because I want every Sonic game, no matter how big or small, I do want it to be an event. I want it to be, because the best types of Sonic releases are whenever we're all kind of gathered around and we're like, no, let's rally behind, like go behind this, you know, and support it and push it through as a collective, you know? Even when it was a game that not everyone could have access to, like Sonic Dream Team, for example. Like, that was still a hype experience, you know, up to the release date, even though it was exclusive to Apple, which I still think is dumb. I think that game would actually work super well on Switch and Switch 2.
Oh, yeah, I feel like that's the kind of thing is, like, I think the word of mouth you'd generate from a big release of that game would be great. But I don't think they're going to do it until it stops making them money on Apple Arcade, because that is probably paying them dividends.
Oh yeah, those Apple Bucks do not play. They do not play. They
But God, Dream Team is just such a great game. We had so many great Sonic games recently. Like, I'd say the worst one of the bunch lately I mean, okay, like if I'm talking here, I guess I'm counting Frontiers, up to Frontiers, Superstars, Rumble.
I'll be honest, like
Shadow Generations, Crossworlds.
I think
they're all looking
Superstars is the weakest
Yes.
of the games that we've played, but even then, Superstars is still like a 7 to 7.5 out of 10 game, which is a far cry from what we had in the 2010s
I'd say
and even the
6.
2000s to some.
On replay,
I say 7.
6. The reason I say 6 is just because the bosses are such an intrusive.
Oh, the bosses
prevalent
suck.
one.
I hate the bosses.
They're
I
awful,
agree
but
with you
I feel
there.
like the majority of the game is fighting the bosses, and I'm just like, this is a thing that ruins the experience every few minutes. Like, I can't look past this.
It's because they take up so much of your time, you know?
Yeah, like the first time, it was like, okay, they're new
Yeah.
discoveries, so I don't mind it as much. But then on replay, I'm like, yay, I'm enjoying this 2-minute long. Oh no, now there's a fucking boss.
It's like, oh, there's a move that kills me in one hit, and I have to start everything over again. Hooray!
Yeah, like it's just
yeah.
and then like Trip's story is a fucking fiasco.
Yeah.
Like I think Superstars, I'd give it a 6. They got the physics
Yeah,
right. I can say that. Like that's good.
But even then, like, and I still replay some of the levels in Superstars because a lot of it is genuinely just fun. But that's the thing. I wouldn't be able to say that about Forces, for example. Like that game is like Forces for me and Lost World as well to an extension. Lost World is just frustrating. Like I feel like if I did sit down and learn the mechanics, I would have a little bit more of an enjoyable time with that game. And a lot of people have shown me that like you can do some cool stuff with the parkour system in Lost World. So, and it sucks because like I kind of want to try those mechanics, but then it's like I have to play Lost World to do it. You know, I don't want to do that. Like I just don't want to. But like I guess to put it in a blanket statement, I have replayed aspects of Superstars. I have not replayed anything of Forces or anything of Lost World. The only time I even went back to Forces was to try Overclocked, which is fucking phenomenal and it's great.
Oh yeah, Overclocked is excellent.
So like, yeah, technically I worked on 2 songs on that project because it was in development for so long.
I'm going to make this about me.
Oh, shut up!
Congratulations, congratulations,
No,
Overclocked. This is me.
No, shut up. No, but it's just weird because like I saw it come out and I was just like, oh shit, yeah, I did technically work on this even though it was like 4 years ago. Time's weird, you know.
I made this while I was in Hollywood.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, no, but I haven't replayed anything of Forces, anything of Lost World, like. Like the only game, it's funny because I was talking to some friends about being a Sonic tuber during that time, and a lot of Sonic tubers were either like completely ignoring certain aspects of the series, like they may have reviewed Lost World once and then never touched it again, or like they were doing like Generations mods like that entire time, basically.
Yeah,
like
during that drought era.
During that whole drought era, it was just like. Yeah, let's do a let's play of like Generations where we have Honey the Cat as our skin or something like that.
Yeah, it's like when they
they
released Forces, I think the general sentiment was, "Hey, come back! You can't just drop that and just leave. Like, where's the rest? Like,
all right, see you in another 5 years. Yeah.
What do you mean we gotta play this for 5 years? Like, that's the thing is like I can at least say that like Frontiers is a game that can last me 5 years by me just fucking doinking around in the open zones. But I think we've really got to move on to super chats now. So.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I'm sorry.
Let's do that. Ian, you're still with us?
I'm still there. I was enjoying the discussion. You guys nailed it.
Oh, bad.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to start us off with a super chat from like last week, but it was sent past the super chat cutoff time. Mr. Krabs, with the $1.99. What do you mean she's your girlfriend, Gromit? I hope that was worth the week's wait. Thank you, Mr. Krabs.
Hope you're still in the chat.
So Ian's the next one on the table. So Ian. Burger.
All right, super chat. Oh, okay, I see it. From Jorno, $5.
Brazilian reals.
Oh, right. Okay, I was wondering what the R was.
Yeah, Frank. Brazilian reals, Frank.
Another Friday, another day of asking to share the hashtag Sonic Crossworlds Dublado campaign. Make sure Sega dubs their $70 games in Brazil, please. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Oh, what? Wait, are they not doing that? That's kind of crazy.
Apparently no plans, but I've put the hashtag in the description this time. So that will be in
That
there.
is so
And
weird,
I have been
because
sharing it around on Blue Sky and Twitter.
I don't understand. Like, so to give context as to why this is very weird, well, obviously it should be dubbed anywhere that's being released, obviously. But Brazil, especially in the 90s, like that's where Sega made a lot of their money, was with like the Master System and
I mean, yeah, they still
and
sell those there, don't they?
They still sell Mega Drives there. Yeah, like it's under Tectoy technically now, right?
But I
Or
also
it's under
just think,
Tectoy.
yeah,
It's always has been.
As I think
but...
Jorno points out, like if you're going to release this game at $70, you ought to dub it for the people that are going to be buying.
Oh, if you're going to release it in a region, then dub it in that region, you know, in my opinion. Like if you're going out of your way to go ahead and release it in that region, then at least have some form of dubbing that makes people understand it.
Unless it's Klonoa.
You know?
I don't accept English dubs. I was upset when I put a post up saying you prefer English or Phantomillion, and English won. No! Klonoa doesn't go, hey Hupo, let's go. You go, Hupo! Like, that's what you want from fucking Klonoa. I don't want
exactly.
I want to hear his little fucking sounds that he makes, you know?
Exactly.
Precious. Yeah.
Sonic is still super popular in Brazil. Yeah, and it's because like, and I read up on this that like the government at the time had a very weird like law against like outside companies like selling inside Brazil. So Sega did like almost like a loophole where they did contracting with Tectoy, which is a local company in Brazil, and that's how they were able to sell a bunch of Mega Drives and a bunch of Master Systems in there, because it was the cheapest video game system by like a large margin. Like we talk about how things are expensive now, they were spending like $1,200 on like a PS3 or something like that back in the day. You know, so it's like, yeah.
So for the Brazilian dub, hashtag Sonic Crossworlds Dublado, and for the Phantomillion dub, Sonic Crossworlds Dipperadu.
Yes.
All right. Wahoo! Okay. All right. Trey.
Yes. Hey, KB with $199. Thank you, KB. Pup and Dylan are becoming Hollywood elites.
Well,
yeah.
Had to be you that read that one,
yes. Yes.
Oh wow,
yes!
Trey cheering for the fall of the fucking lower class.
I am so glad that we're getting rid of poor people. Yes, no more poor people.
Oh, God, don't play into it, Trey.
I'm kidding. Love all my poor people in the chat. What's up, fam? I'm kidding.
You really are very democratic. Has anyone ever told you that? You are such a Democrat. You're literally Kamala Harris.
Oh my god. But anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Pup and Dylan recently got some jobs, and like, I'm just very happy for. I'm happy for you guys. You know,
everyone knows that secondhand happiness is a myth, Trey. You can just say fuck those guys.
It's not a myth. It's not a myth because my heart is pure and my intentions are holy. All right.
Again,
so
let's
move on to
those are all myths.
the first one. Let's move on to Nexel.
Borg.
But thank you.
Okay,
KB.
so Nexel Zeta sends $5. They can always do the Archie comics way of how they bring Eggman to the main universe to keep Jim Carrey, just show him beating Sonic back in movie 1. I mean, the thing is, I would love it if they did the Robo-Robotnik thing, but I don't think they can.
Well, they don't have to make it Robo-Robotnik. Just, I mean, multiverses are all the rage. Literally, just
say
Robo-Robotnik
is cool, though.
That's true.
Like, it was so cool. He had that
Robo-Robotnik is cool.
That really dark midnight blue look to him, and also he was like,
oh yeah.
Also, just Robotnik being a robot just feels kind of right.
Yeah. I mean, man, it's not to get on Archie. It's just so funny that is Eggman for the rest of the series. Is some guy.
Yeah, that is funny.
So cool.
Yeah, he's not called Human Nick. It's called Robotnik, so he has to be a robot, right? Like, that's
whose voice do you read in your head when reading like those old Archie comics for Robotnik?
I mean, for any time it's modern Eggman, I just well, I guess I do it by the eras in which they were kind of published. Yeah. So like, yeah, that's kind of how I update it.
No shame.
I still, yeah.
No shame.
Well, the reason I was gonna say it was Pollock, but I was like, oh wait, I do have Dean Bristow in my head for the adventure era of that comic. But once it gets to like 06 and stuff, then I switch to Mike.
Yeah. I do still like reading Eggman lines in Dean Bristow's voice to kind of like, I guess, visualize, or I guess like audio wise, like I guess like I'm curious as to how he would read them if he was still with us today.
Yeah.
When you I find when you read an IDW comic, it's almost impossible not to hear the Studiopolis cast in your head. Yeah, like
Oh,
Roger Craig
yeah,
Smith
it's
and
the
Michael,
Atlas guy.
because it is
Yeah.
clearly written with those actors in mind. You can tell by just the way the dialogue
Oh, yeah.
flows and everything. But when it
There's
comes
certain
to an Archie,
mannerisms, yeah.
when it comes to an Archie comic, I find there is a bit more flex to it, and I find oftentimes I get a bit of Jason coming out for Sonic, sometimes Bristow for Robotnik. But if I'm reading like one of the old Michael Gallagher ones, it can only be Jaleel White and Long John Baldry as Sonic and Robotnik, respectively. Which is funny because Robotnik does have his Sad AM design, but when I read his dialogue, I'm not hearing Jim Cummings. I'm hearing Baldry.
Right.
Oh, I actually do hear it with Jim Cummings, and I think that makes it even funnier.
Really?
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, because hearing Jim Cummings in my head say, girls just want to have fun, Snively, is, it's too good.
I mean, that's another thing is I want to hear Baldry, and obviously we can't, but I want to hear Baldry say the name Snively, just so I can, like, hear...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he would
That'd be
find a
funny.
way. He would find a way to
be
roll
like,
an R even though there's no...
Snively?
Snively?
Snooping as usual, which he does say in the comic.
It took me 9 years to collect the cereals. Yum, yum, cereals.
I really love
Congratulations, boss. Shut up! Fuck Steven Universe.
Baldry's Robotnik is the best. He is the gift that keeps on giving. He's my favorite. I also love
incredible.
Dean Bristow a lot too, and obviously a lot of love for the Japanese
for
cast
sure.
as well. Like, been watching a lot of Japanese Sonic X, and Robotnik's laugh in that is so like, yeah, it's so iconic. I fucking love Sonic X. But you know, Baldry's always going to be my Robotnik.
Well, and I always read, once we get to, like, the Flynn era, I always read, Eggman's voice and his 06 Mike Pollock voice, where it's a little more downplayed.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a
I
little more
can hear it.
downplayed, but still evil. Like, that feels like Robo Robotnik to me, perfectly, to a T.
Okay, I see.
That's a
Yeah,
good point.
yeah, I recognize that. All right. Okay, so next up,
I think it's Ian. Yeah.
yes. So Borger Ian.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, there we go. $10 from Dragon Fruit. Thank you very much. How much do I gotta donate for Pup to make a video on the King of the Hill revival entirely in his American prospector voice?
Do you remember that era of Channel Pup video? Like, I guess none of you guys watch the videos because you don't need to, you know me. But, like, there was, like, an old era, this must have been, like, 2 years ago, where I used to do, like, the subscribe stuff in, like, stupid little character voices and stuff like that. Now, it would be, like, 4 of them on a cycle, so it wasn't by anything, like, impressive. But, like, I'd be like, if you enjoyed these videos and you want to see more like them, be sure to hit that subscribe button and rustle up my numbers, or something along those lines. Yeah, like, so that is quite a throwback, because I don't do that anymore. I don't even ask people to subscribe now, because I think if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it, you know? But, like,
Yeah, that's true.
how much do you gotta donate? I mean, I want to make a video on the King of the Hill revival. Happily. I'd love to make videos on King of the Hill, and you know what the best part is? I can now. It doesn't matter if they flop. I'm employed.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Get ready for
That's
the
the
most
thing.
experimental avant-garde era of Channel Pup.
Watch this, like, actually pan out, though. I hope it does.
It
'cause,
could.
Like,
It really could.
yeah. It's true.
It's true.
It's true. It's true.
I've even got a little. I've even got a buddy that I am going to be outsourcing a little bit of editing to. He could use the extra cash, so I figure that could be a way to do it.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice, actually.
I'm hiring my first
I,
editor. That's crazy.
What? Editor, I barely know her. Haha. Anyways,
Dick.
I think it's my turn.
I'm still not buying a Switch 2 yet though because I'm standing on business. Wink.
Do we have Trey Nobles in the chat? That's crazy.
There's Trey here. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So, who read last? Ah, yeah, it was
Border.
okay. It was Ian. So it will be me now. No, it won't. It will be you now.
Oh, it'd be me.
yeah.
It'd be me. All right. So, KB with $9.99 US. Thank you, KB, so much for your continued support. It means a lot. Ian Flynn said on Blue Sky that some of the rival dialogue are gonna be spicy. I wonder if this is a confirmation that he is writing for the game. I mean, I was already assuming that he was writing for the game. I couldn't really imagine-
Silver turns to Blaze and is just like, "Hey, secretly, I want to fuck you."
Yeah, that's the spicy.
So true.
Yeah.
I mean, what else does spicy mean? Sonic says the word spicy in reference to Son Amy and Sonic Boom.
I mean, let's do. It's spicy in the context of this series, where it's just like maybe a little bit of flirtation, but not anything beyond that.
Hey, Amy, still thinking about the cock?
Yeah,
The Kako.
The cucko. Or the cucky, right? The cucky, is that what it is?
No, he's talking about
bird?
his dick. He's talking about his dick.
Okay.
The joke is that he's going to fuck her on top of the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a sexual joke.
Okay. You know, this
that
clip
you're
is
rich.
yeah, sorry, I don't need to do that. I have what's called a home, and I can just do it there. As a Hollywood
Trey,
elite.
rub it into the homeless's faces, as always.
I am not! My God!
I look forward to the Trey Noble's Portland, Oregon tour, where he just kneels down by every tent he can find and goes, "Hey, I got a house."
That's it.
That's it.
Well, you can't come in.
It's like, hey, I got a house, and 70% of it is covered in music equipment. You want to come over? That's how.
You want to come play my Sega setting?
Yeah, I got the Sega Tower of Power.
It's really difficult to say Sega with an American accent because it always comes out as Sega.
It's just Sega.
I know.
Sega?
It's Sega.
Yeah, Sega. Yeah.
It's just hard. It's hard to say with an artificial American accent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I could imagine Saturn being kind of weird to say.
Saturn.
In an American accent. Saturn.
I even notice how Americans. Yeah. No one says Batman. No one ever pronounces the T in Batman. It's always.
No, it's just Batman.
Batman. It's never Batman. It's always Batman.
It's not Batman.
Yeah, like there wouldn't be an S in it because there is no S in it. You stupid.
Oh, it's like us saying like wanker or something.
It's just wrong. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. It's like you wanker. It's like we don't say that. We're just like
you can't
wanker.
say wanker, and you definitely
like,
you definitely cannot say twat either. That is definitely not one that works for you guys.
I feel like we say it like swat. It's like twat.
Yeah, it's just not correct. It doesn't have the impact.
Wanker.
Like if you ask me to describe, that's so funny. If you ask me to describe like the sound of rain going into a puddle, I'd say twat, twat, twat. You know, like
twat.
Well, like you know,
anyways,
if you,
we're off on a tangent now.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I think it's your turn up with KB.
Yes, KB with the $1.99. Thank you again, KB. I feel IDW and Tomoth gave us a more ideal Amy, and Did you want me to say the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog?
I feel like IDW and Tomoth gave us more.
A more ideal Amy.
No, it's funny.
No, the thing is, I completely agree. I think Evan Stanley, for one, knows how to write a modern Amy. Like, Evan Stanley's Amy is still not as much the mad pash that she was, but she's, like, at least got a bit of that fieriness to her. That little bit of that fire that's in her vocal theme. Still not getting where the whole he stands there like a parsley thing or the cute shaved sphinx has to do with anything, but, like, she's at least got a bit of the fire in her again, you know? And Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog gave us that much more bubbly side to Amy. Frontiers has earned a more somber Amy, but I'm not so sure how I feel about...
Just keep the trash talk to a minimum, Bart.
I think it's like... Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's character development. I'm like... Development into what, though?
Development off-screen as well, bear in mind. We didn't see any reason for her to become this. Like, you could say, oh, she grew up. Are you implying adult women cannot be a bit fiery? Because that's a quality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's... Yeah. Also, I think, and I could be wrong on this, I think some of the social media team also helped with Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, it was straight up written by the social team. Katie Krasnowski, I believe, wrote that.
Yes. And as well as Ian Mulcher as well.
I'm just saying, look, I like Ian Flynn's writing a lot. I'm not a fan of how he's written Amy, and I understand that this is probably all kinds of, like, how you work around the different mandates and stuff like that, sure. But it just happens to be a trend that I like the way Evan Stanley writes Amy. I like the way Katie Krasnowski has written for Amy. Don't love the way Ian Flynn does it. And it's like, who'da thunk it? Women can write women really well.
Indeed.
That's why I think it should be, and it is a team, but like, I feel like there's also has to be some trust bestowed upon more people to like interject.
I think there
You
has
know,
been a
like-
lot of like, we want to write Amy as a good feminine representation in Sonic. And I think,
Yeah, and I
you
think
know,
just how all of them interpret that is different.
Evan Stanley and Katie Krasnowski are maybe just a little less shy about that feminine trait, I guess, or that trait being on a female character. That's like fieriness and stuff.
Right.
Maybe, like, you know, when a man is writing for Amy, there is that conscientious, like, oh, don't wanna make this a sexist stereotype or something. Whereas, like, you know, I don't know, like, it's just a trend I'm noticing, and it's just a theory, nothing to be taken too seriously there, because I know that some people will. This is the internet. I'm not trying to say only women can write Amy. That would be silly. But yeah.
But you
know
gotta
how
have
it
a
is.
team. You gotta have a team of people that have different, like, I guess, like I don't know if walks of life or experiences.
Different
like,
people
a
will
part of it,
inform
but,
the
like,
character, and I think, you know, I
Yeah,
think
for
what
sure.
Evan Stanley's blueprint for Amy is a really nice middle ground, and I think by extension, Katie Krasnowski's as well.
Well, it is interesting because Flynn wrote Amy really well in Preboot, but I wasn't going to bring that one up because that's such a different character. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't like
She's
she
still a
has-
little girl in an adult's body in that comic, isn't she?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I mean, they try to sweep it under the rug and say she's mentally matured now.
Yeah, how does that work? How the
Yeah,
fuck
how does that work?
No,
Yeah, how does
it's
that
like
work?
when the Gotham
Oh,
TV
hilarious.
series like aged up Poison Ivy because they realized, shit, maybe our actor is a little too young for us to tell any stories here. But then they started kind of having her seduce people. It's like, oh no, no, that can't work that way. Oh boy, you've put yourselves in a real doozy of a pickle here. And then they recast her again to make her even older when she was just, like, the perfect age. Like, I don't know, but that's
Yeah,
Gotham.
But the reason I brought it up was just that Flynn does write her very well in Reboot, where that's kind of he just kind of goes off, I guess, what he thinks the game Amy is. And she has so many like girly traits to her, and also she's like funny and like but also like a hard head. And so like that's what makes modern Amy like weird to me, is like, well, he can do it because in Reboot,
yeah,
she's
I think
like my favorite. Reboot's like my favorite
There,
version of
there's
Amy.
definitely there's like, and like, again, like, I'm not gonna say that it's all mandates, because I feel like a lot of people, and I'm not saying that Ian does this, Ian Flynn. I'm not saying that he does this, but a lot of people who are fans of Ian, like, anytime there is a problem with the writing, they kind of point to the mandates, and it's like, well, that's the issue. And it's like, well, I mean,
I
it
think
can
the thing
be
is,
an issue, but it probably isn't the sole one.
I
right?
think the thing is, you
Like-
can probably point to the Archie stuff and say probably is the mandates, because Ian Flynn had a lot of creative freedom on like pre-boot Archie, but like post-boot Archie is kind of his baby in a way. But
I think he's
Sure.
also just probably
think-
changed as a writer in some ways. I think
Well, there's
maybe
also-
like
there's also cases.
things he might have. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Pop. I interrupted you.
No,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay. There's also cases to be made to say that it's also how you navigate certain mandates. Like Sega might have made certain requests.
Yeah.
that Evan Stanley has done a great job addressing, while Ian Flynn might not have done as good of a job as, say, Evan Stanley in that regard. Hard to say. It's really hard to say without actually knowing the insider information about this stuff. So it is all just theory, and I just want to make that super duper, ultra mega
Yeah.
clear. And I can
But
still see
I
what
think,
Ian's going for.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that these departments, like, they go through so many hands and so many different minds and so many different opinions. You can't really pinpoint to like a singular thing. It's the same with like the reason why people, let's say that you don't like the voice acting. People point to like the voice direction or whatever. And it's like that probably isn't entirely true, because there's the voice director, there's also the audio director that picks the takes out, and then there's the parent company itself that has the final say on everything. So it goes through a long process to get to the end product anyways.
There's also like
So
another
it's like,
thing worth
yeah.
noting is that Ian Flynn probably didn't write the character bios in Sonic Dream Team, and Amy's character bio in Sonic Dream Team makes me want to fucking vomit. Because it
Yeah.
puts her down as the level-headed group mum, and I'm just like, no. Watch Sonic X. Is that girl level-headed? And it's not a problem that she isn't level-headed. We gotta stop treating this as, oh, her not being level-headed is bad female representation. Fuck that. You can make any gender not level-headed. Why does that have to be a gendered thing? Like, why can't she be a hothead? I liked it when she had the power to burst into flames when she was angry. For dramatic effect exclusively. Or when she could just magic hammers out of nowhere when she was mad. That stuff was fun. That stuff was cool. A group mum?
Like,
the
let 'em be
level
cartoon
head?
characters.
That's the antithesis. That's not just changing it. That's the antithesis of what this character's defining traits are. That she's hot-headed. That you don't want to piss her off. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, I despair.
Yeah.
I really do despair. But, I mean, also, like, you also mentioned, like, writers can change with time, and as I have learned through Doctor Who, yes, writers can certainly change. For the fucking worse sometimes. As Doctor Who so clearly indicates. Fuck Doctor Who.
Because, I mean,
but,
like, Flynn himself, like, I know we've talked about, I had a little podcast with him where I talked to him about Preboot Sonic. And his kind of, like, understanding of Preboot Sonic, to me, you know, as a humble fan, it seems like has changed. In terms of the ways he, like, would remember certain things in the story. I'm like, interesting. Are you sure you wrote it for that reason? Because everything else in the story points the opposite. Like, basically, he would talk about Preboot Sonic as if, like, he had some of the traits of modern Sonic. Kind of more of his, like, kinder traits, or, like, his more, like, heroic traits. And I'm like, Preboot Sonic's kind of an ass, so I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
And of course he doesn't remember that stuff. That was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's another thing, too. It's so funny because it's the same with, like, voice actors. Like, there's sometimes, and Ian Flynn's a fan, I'm not going to say that, but there's a lot of times, too, where people are just doing their job. Like, I remember someone one time asked, like, Ryan
Pontaff.
Drummond, like...
Were drobbers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Drummond,
well,
when he was asked that time, like, what's your favorite Sonic line? And he kind of just said,
Yeah,
I don't really
exactly.
choose favorites. It's, you know, when people play these games that things become their favorites. It's, you know...
Yeah.
These games are not making their cultural impact at the time the actors are recording the lines. And I think the truth is, there are probably some projects where actors do read their lines and go, fuck, that's a really good line. And that's usually because the actor is very invested in the project, but that's not something to be taken for granted. It's not every time an actor plays a role are they going to love the role. And that's fine by me. I don't need them to do that. I need them to act. And that's it.
Well, yeah, like, I remember watching, like, the Gravity Falls commentaries, and it would be very funny to have, like, the Dipper voice actor be like, oh, yeah, like, he still goes to conventions and talks to all the fans and stuff, and, like, he would always ask, like, the creator, like, where's the mystery gonna go? Where's this gonna go? And then you have, like, the Mabel voice actress, and she's like, so what happens in this episode again? What does my character do?
Yeah.
It's like when Colleen O'Shaughnessy was asked, like, what's your favorite track from the Sonic soundtracks? And she was like, I don't know, the Sega jingle? So it's like, yeah, like, everyone knows that a Sonic fan's favorite track from a Sonic game is not going to be the fucking Sega jingle.
They're not fans, like they were introduced to this as a job. You know what I mean? It's like
If you're
me
lucky.
being it's like me being a fan of Zaxby's. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like
and if
that
you're
was a
lucky-
job. That was like, yeah.
If you're lucky, they might have played
Anyways.
Sonic 2 on the Sega Mega Drive. Like,
Yeah, if you're lucky, they probably grew up with Sonic a little bit before they got the role or something. But like, I was saying this with music stuff as well. A lot of times, Sega doesn't even look at fans for their projects, like barely at all. Actually, like T. Lopes is like one of the few strong exceptions to that rule. But like in the music side of things, like the original version of "I'm Here" was sung by a guy in a band that only had about 1,500 Spotify
Octavia.
listeners, which is like nothing, you know.
up and comers.
So it's like it's all within like what kind of vibe they're trying to go for, and then the cultural impact happens after the fact. Then they get their accolades, and they're like, "Oh,
Is
shit,
it not also like
that-
speculated that like Nathan Sharp is doing the theme for Crossworlds? I mean, it sounded like Nathan Sharp in the video.
It
hard to
sounded like
tell.
him. I don't know, and I wouldn't be surprised. But like even then, like Nathan Sharp was always a musician first. He wasn't a Sonic fan first.
Is it
You know,
Nathan
he-
Sharp or is it Patrick Stump? Find out this week.
No, I don't know. Actually,
I
I'm
think he sounds
singing
like
the
Patrick
theme
Stump.
for Sonic Crossworlds. Actually, so
We'll
but
sing
no,
it now then, live performance. This is the symphony. Let's go.
Sonic Crossworlds. Nope, that's Daytona. My bad. That's the Daytona theme.
Wait,
Just Sonic
Daytona.
Crossworlds.
Daytona. Is that the one that TJ Davis did a bunch of tracks for?
Daytona. No,
Oh, that was Metropolis Street Racer.
Yes, Metropolis Street Race.
God, some of
I was
those
about to be
tracks
cheeky and
bang,
be like,
and you can just
yeah.
pretend that they're from the Sonic R soundtrack if you feel like being a terminal Sonic fan. Right, we gotta go
funny.
through. We
really gotta keep going. Sorry, we can go on this for like another hour. Yeah,
it's my bad.
Good question.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I love
actually,
how
it wasn't
the
even a question.
Sonic
It was
the
just a
Hedgehog brought us
statement.
to fucking
Yeah.
to fucking Daytona. All right, Borger. Who's up? It's Ian. I read out the last one, didn't I?
Yeah, it's Ian. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got KB 199. Or no, wait, is that correct? No, Mr. Krabs?
No,
Wait, where am I
you're
at?
KB.
Okay, KB for US dollars 199. Pup, have you tried creative mode in Minecraft?
Yeah, it's building everything pixel by pixel takes too long for me. It's like creative mode's already a little difficult for me to enjoy, but like survival mode is just like an ADHD person's worst nightmare, or my ADHD's worst nightmare.
Yeah. I think I'm of two minds about it, because like in survival mode, whenever I build something cool in survival mode, it's like, man, I earned that. Like that was something that I had to like scrounge for and like make the materials for, or find the materials for. In creative mode, you can kind of make anything, which is great, but then you make it like a huge structure or something, and it's like, well, I mean, yeah, but I just
don't know,
basically
man.
had
I
unlimited...
think building it pixel by pixel is still very impressive.
No, I mean building something pixel by pixel is impressive, but let's say you want to like build a house or something in creative mode, it's like I would feel more accomplished if I did it in survival. If that makes
I
sense.
feel like if you're doing it in creative mode, it's gonna be like the sky's the limit. You know, you're gonna want to build.
Yeah, exactly. I get
to
like
your greatness.
what's it called? I get like something. It's like something anxiety, like choice anxiety or something like that. Like basically if you have so many choices,
Oh, if you have so many
overwhelmed.
choices, you're not gonna really plan it out. Like, for
Yeah,
example,
exactly.
like filmmakers. Like, there's a lot of times when independent filmmakers will do their best work when they don't have a massive budget.
Oh yeah,
Because they know how to work around it.
Oh yeah, because they have to kind of work with what they got. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like
absolutely.
another case here is I want to bring up real quick Doctor Who, because it's always been known as it's that low budget little sci-fi show where they would take these low budget approaches to doing like space operas and stuff. Now it's on a Disney budget, and it's like the lighting now,
Yeah.
everything is just overlit. They've got lighting in all corners because we can afford it now, whereas before they had to think about their lighting. They had to think, where's that light
Yeah.
gonna go? Where's that light?
They
Well,
didn't
we
have
also had
like
to think,
the
like- Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, also like, especially since everything filmmaking wise has gone to digital, you can like just like put in like color grading in post and like all this other stuff, and like
Well, you could do that
basically
when it was film anyway. That was always part of the process. But like,
I mean, yeah, but like it's even
then-
more honed in now, if that made sense. It's
well,
more flexible.
I think it's
Like-
because, like, for example, like when you shoot on digital, you get a cleaner picture, which leads to that kind of MCU kind of look, where everything's very clean, everything's very literal, the colors are literal. But I think the biggest problem facing a lot of Disney projects, it faces the Disney the Disney remake movies. It's very much an issue with a lot of MCU films, is that they are just blasting as much light at the scene as possible. If you want to see it in the scene, blast a load of light at it. You don't have to think about lighting when everything is lit, when the lighting's just a given, when shadows and lighting can be used to express so much, and they're just not fucking using that. But every once in a while, you'll get a director come along, or a filmmaker come along that does understand how to make these things sing in that way. I think Jake Schreier did a wonderful job with the Thunderbolts in that regard. But again, we've gone really off topic now, so I'm just going to move along to that next one.
Yeah.
The fact is, I guess giving everyone all the tools they could possibly need isn't always the gift you think it is, from, like, I guess, Trey's standpoint when it comes to creative mode. But when it comes from my end of it, I'm already earning my piece by building it. I don't need to fucking deal with creepers, so they can just fuck right off. Let's go on to the next one.
Right, so
Borger.
I think it's my turn.
I think so.
Mr. Krabs, $199 US. Thank you, Mr. Krabs. Grommet, Rivet, why is Homer strangling his son?
Welcome to the Simpsons universe.
Yeah.
Borger, the next one. Thank you again, Mr. Krabs, for another $199 US. Donkey Kong new form are references to One Piece and Kinnikuman. Yeah, I think people pointed out that Donkey Kong resembles Supersonic quite a bit. I mean, I think the bananas pointing upwards are pretty bare bones. I think that's a Supersonic reference. At least Super Saiyan right? Like
yeah,
the
it's
bananas.
definitely Super Saiyan more so because of how
I
it's
feel like
like
with Super Sonic
layered.
anyway, because like his head already does look like a bunch of bananas. Like
That's true. This
That's
is true. That's true.
all right, next up.
I am so excited about Donkey Kong Bonanza though. It looks
Well, talk about it for the
really
next super
good.
chat, Borger.
All right.
Ian.
All right, Ian.
All right. KB, you 199. Thank you, KB. Thoughts on the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct?
There you go, Trey. There's your opportunity.
Well, Ian, go first since you read it.
I didn't watch it.
Oh,
The end.
okay.
Thank
Well,
you,
what do you
though.
think about Donkey Kong Bonanza as a concept, as a product? You know.
I mean, it looks super cool. Just as a like, I mean, whenever I get a Switch 2 down the line, whenever they announce either the next Smash or they are going
Yeah.
to finally have Kingdom Hearts on there natively, if they do that, then I'll be getting a Switch. And as soon as that happens, I'll definitely get Bonanza. It looks super
Honestly, if they did like re-release like the HD collections or something for Kingdom Hearts on Switch 2, that would actually be a no-brainer for them to do.
cool. Oh yeah, I would
That'd be
instantly
nice.
buy it. I will.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I've been playing through it on PS3 and like it's a good enough experience, but like man, half of me is just like I'd like to take this with me. But my thoughts on the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, probably like funny enough, and again, I was already going to get the game because it already looked good initially, but like after seeing the Direct, I'm like, oh, this is a must-buy, like almost Game of the Year contender for me. Like it looks so good, and I've actually grown to like DK's new look a little bit more. I was a little bit like hesitant on his new look, not necessarily because it's a changed look, but because it's like it looked like they were like Donkey Kong was expressing just for the sake of being expressive, and like everything was a little bit too hammed up for me, if that makes sense. Like, but now like watching that Direct, seeing everything like in front of you unfold, it like like Donkey Kong looks great. This game looks fantastic. It's obviously helmed by the same people that made Odyssey, so you already know it's gonna at least have like that level of polish to it. At least I'm hoping. And funny enough, this game's cheaper than Mario Kart World. So, if you want to make a real statement, buy this game instead than Mario Kart World. Because looking at this, I'm laughing at Mario Kart World because it looks so bare bones in comparison to Donkey Kong Bonanza. Pup, what do you think?
The only thing I've seen of Donkey Kong Bonanza, because I didn't watch the Switch 2 Direct or the Bonanza Direct.
Indeed.
The only thing I know about this game is thanks to editing the short hands-on video for Kadikarus about Donkey Kong Bonanza. And in it, he kind of said that, like, in being able to destroy everything and in having it kind of reset, it kind of becomes a little frustrating to revisit certain paths and stuff like that. I mean, that's not verbatim what he said, but, like, I mean, if you want to hear his thoughts, just see his thoughts. But I can see how that could be an issue, but at the same time, the idea of a game where I can just break everything sounds kind of fun. At the same time, I notice a reason why I end up putting down a lot of Lego games is because I spend a lot of time just smashing things rather than actually playing the game, and then I complain to myself that the progression is too sluggish. It's like, maybe if you didn't stop and destroy everything every 5 minutes, you'd get through it. But, like, I don't know, like, I loved Mario Odyssey. My mind was pretty blown by that game. This game definitely kind of looks like Donkey Kong's Odyssey. I'm yet to actually play a Donkey Kong game. I'll tell you the truth. Never played one. So maybe I'll give one a try.
Yeah, give Donkey Kong Country a try. I think you'd like that.
Is that on
Donkey Kong Country's
Nintendo
pretty fun.
64? Is that the 64 one?
No, that's Super Nintendo.
Also,
Donkey
Pauline
Kong
looks
64.
adorable.
Oh yeah, no, like like a lot of people are like, oh, but the Mario timeline, and like maybe like
Lol.
maybe this is like, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite here, but like I've just never seen Mario as like a timeline centric kind of game, especially since they made that book trying to like put a timeline on the Zelda series, and it's like I appreciate the effort, but like
I mean,
you guys kind of knew beforehand that this was not going to really work out. Basically, is what I'm like.
I mean, you could also just say like, all right, they say it's canon, and then you go, oh well,
Yeah.
nuh-uh, that's not doesn't make any sense. All right, the end. It's a different
All right,
timeline.
whatever. Yeah. Yeah, multiverse stuff. Yeah, like
Yeah, like isn't that always the answer?
that's always the
Or-
answer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
Pauline
it's a
got
multiverse, and that's like the good answer, which is like, oh yeah, it's just doing its own thing. Whatever, no problem.
I don't really
Yeah,
have
whatever,
any
fuck
opinions on that thing, because I like the thing is I'm not like mega in like it sounds maybe a little hypocritical for me to say, like, yeah, I won't really care, because, like, how much I do kind of care about if the Sonic games are going to have a continuity, I want it to make sense. But I think that is because Sonic games have been committed to a continuity, while Mario games haven't. But also, I can't imagine me getting that upset about the Mario stories, even if I did care more about the stories, because I just don't think they ever set out to do that, while Sonic has. So I don't know, like, it's a bit of a confusion, but at the end of the day, if that's the vibe they're going for this game, and each game is just going to be its own little masterpiece with no tangible continuity or anything like that, I don't see any harm in it.
Well, it's like, that's the thing, right? Is that because you kind of nailed it, actually, which is that the game's going to be incredible in, like, some form or fashion. You know, it's always probably going to have, like, some problems or whatever. Therefore, it can get away with, like, doing some weird continuity things. Because imagine, like, all the Sonic continuity stuff that we, you know, talk about. But imagine if the games were just, like, 10 out of 10 every time. We'd be like, well, that's just kind of a quirk of Sonic, is that they're just kind of figuring out. But man,
yeah, like, we
so
wouldn't
freaking good.
really even
And at the end of the day, that's
yeah.
that's the Nintendo
I mean,
brand,
also
which is that
right.
it's just going to be good.
I've been advocating pretty hard for Sonic to abandon continuity and commit to just making every game its own little masterpiece.
Absolutely.
That's not the director.
I agree, because, like,
but, like, it's fine.
Yeah, because, like, unless they're numbered sequels, then, like, yeah, they should just be their
Yeah,
own
like,
thing.
I would like Sonic Adventure 3 to follow up on Sonic Adventure 2 to some capacity, but I'm not expecting Sonic and the Big Cheese to follow up on Sonic Adventure 2, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and again, imagine, like, you know, Forces with all, like, its weird stuff it does with, like, you know, imagine it didn't do any of the weird stuff it does with, like, Tails or Knuckles or whatever, but it still didn't make sense with the timeline, and, like, oh, classic Sonic, is he from another dimension? But imagine the story was just, like, amazing. You'd go, whatever, that's kind of cute. Who knows where classic Sonic's from? I don't know. The game's amazing.
I actually, yeah, looking back, I
Yeah.
think other dimensions the better call, because that way you can have, like, a classic Shadow and stuff, like...
Well, and again, people were just mad at that because... to be mad at it. I don't even mean, like, flippantly, but I just mean, like, in the sense of, like, it's something to where they screwed even that up, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is this game doing, you know?
Oh yeah, in the context of, like, Sonic Forces itself, that is always going to be a shitty line, and it's always going to be a contradiction. But it's like, if they followed it up and were like, yeah, here's the next classic Sonic game, which is a readaptation of, like, Sonic Adventure or something, but it takes place in the classic timeline now, and it's a 2D game, I'd be like, okay, you've justified that. That's really cool. But they didn't do that, so it's like, I don't see any reason.
Yeah,
Anyways.
so it just feels annoying. Yeah, but we can continue.
Yeah. Anyways, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks phenomenal. My theory is that Pauline got cursed with Benjamin Button syndrome and is now a kid.
And my theory is that we will be getting new Mario Kart World skins very soon.
Yeah. I really
those
do hope
characters.
we get some updates on that game, because as it stands, I'm
Yeah,
glad I paid $50 for it.
specifically I meant for those characters, because you know that's why they only have one costume in that game.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, that's fair. But yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks phenomenal. All the super forms that are with Donkey Kong look phenomenal. It just looks great. Like, it just looks really, really good. So I'm excited.
Alright,
There you
so
go.
next up,
I think
Burger.
it's my turn. Yeah, because
Yes.
Ian at the rest. Mr. Krabs, $1.99 US. Thank you, Mr. Krabs. DK Zerba form is a reference to Kinnikuman zebra. I know you meant to say zebra, so I'm sorry, but you did say Zerba, so I felt it was needed to be accurate.
That's sick.
I don't know what a Kinnikuman is, actually. Maybe I'm
Like a
maybe I'm
wrestling
stupid.
manga, if I'm correct.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, like a lot of the stuff that you see, a lot of it is referenced by, you know, something real world, whether it's like
a cool
whether
design,
it's like
actually.
ancient, like so.
I'm googling
Very
it now,
cool.
and Zebra does have a cool design. He also got a fat ass, actually, looking at this. That's quite funny.
Is it,
well, yeah.
is it wrestling? Was I correct about that?
It does appear to be like a wrestling kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks like almost like a not a
I thought
luchador type thing, but
Yeah, Yeah,
yeah.
that's probably correct. Yeah, like
Yeah.
luchador stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one, Borger. Okay, so is it my turn?
It is.
Okay, so Nexel Zeta sends $5. It's been 10 years now, and only Penda's being petty. Hang on. It's been 10 years now, and only Penda's being petty. I think we can bring back some Archie rep. back and sticks. Oh, okay, so it's like it's been enough time since the lawsuits, and Penders has only been petty. He hasn't actually taken any further action. So
he hasn't actually taken action.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, Sega's a big boy company now, and it's been proven that they do own the characters, or at least like most of like the Archie cast and whatnot. So it's
proven
like,
without shadow of a doubt that they own a lot of the Freedom Fighter. The stuff that people want back, they own it. And
yeah, the stuff that people want back.
Sonic
And
Blitz
he knows
is the
that
perfect
like
place
Freedom
to do
Fighters
it.
are. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Sonic Blitz is a good place to start introducing them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and he knows that the Freedom Fighters aren't his. Like he said this on multiple occasions. He also knows that the hat isn't his. Because someone brought that up where they were like, "Oh yeah, like the OVA hat you think you own." He's like, no, I just thought the OVA hat was cool and I put it in the comic. You know, like I know it's not mine. So it's like he's aware. It's just Sega doesn't want to use the Freedom Fighters because they just don't want to use them. You know.
Yeah, Penders isn't stupid. He's just overreaching.
Yeah.
He flew too close to the sun. Wings clipped too
Yep.
soon. He's still alive. He just doesn't have any wings anymore.
He absorbed the sun, and now he can resell Archie for some reason.
He is now Dr. Octopus. Alright, so next up, Borker. Ian.
Okay, let's see here. Mr. Krabs, 199, thank you. Brenda Song as Tangle and Xanthi? Hugh as Whisper. I don't know.
I have
Hune
no
as
idea
Whisper.
who they are, but
Xanth Hune, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Brenda Song as Tangle. I don't know why. That sounds perfect, genuinely. London Tipton as Tangle makes so much sense. I like that.
So, Borger. Trey.
Oh, my bad. KB with the 199 US dollars. Thank you again, KB. Did you see? Did you see the Sonic and Squadbusters trailer? I did. I thought it was cute because they had Flash in there right before him, and then they had Sonic, or at least like, I don't think they had his design in there entirely. I think it was just like a little teaser, unless there's another.
No,
trailer,
they've done one where it's got like Sonic and Dr. Robotnik in a little fight, and interestingly, it sounds
Oh,
like
okay,
their
never
grunts
mind.
are being done by different voice actors. It's definitely not Mike Pollock this time, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder what, if there's any implication to be taken from that. But I do think Sega might have taken a bit of a stand on the whole Mike Pollock thing, because I swear even Silent Shorts are finding ways to get Mike Pollock in there. Like fucking Chow Tales didn't need Mike Pollock in the booth, but they did, and the trailer for Rumble didn't need to get Mike Pollock in the booth, but they did. I think they see the Mike Pollock thing and are just like, hey guys, here's that Mike Pollock you were asking for. Enjoy. I don't think that's what it's what it looks like to me, but I don't think that's what it is. But yeah, seeing the Sonic X Squadbusters trailer and be like, oh, they didn't get Pollock back in the booth for this one. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. And a lot of the stuff too that we probably saw from like Rumble and other projects were probably stuff that was already in the works for like months or even like a year beforehand. Especially in the case of Rumble, because that was already like in the public consciousness.
And also like Chow
a year and
Tales
some
was
change
probably
ahead.
animating very early on at the very least.
Oh yeah, like Chow Tales was announced at the last Sonic Central, which happened months ago.
Then again,
right?
if they did
Or,
voice acting for that, would that have been? It mustn't. It probably wasn't recent because we had the SAG-AFTRA strikes as well, and Roger
true.
Craig Smith has been on strike for quite a while. So everything he's done for Crossworlds
right.
and everything he did for fucking Chow Tales, if he actually did anything new and they didn't just use grunts maybe from existing games, I don't know. It sounds like they're specific, but I don't know. But anyways, yeah, the Sonic X Squadbusters trailer, like it was really nicely animated and stuff like that. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the Sonic X OKKO crossover, a little bit. But yeah, it was cute. It was fun.
Right. That was cute. I know a lot of people were like.
I thought you hadn't seen it.
Well, I saw the teaser, man. I know a lot of people were up in arms about the catchphrase. I think it's like "Let's do it too" or something.
Oh,
like
let's
that,
do it.
or...
Yeah, I don't care about that. Like, I think
I
some
don't.
folks...
That's like a non-issue for me.
No, but like
for
people
me,
are bringing up like, oh, as
yeah.
a catchphrase, it doesn't work as a context and stuff. It's like, have you ever heard what a catchphrase is? I feel like some people just don't like Sonic acting like a cartoon character, which is what he is. And even if he has been a bit more stoic, even if he has been a bit more drenched in mythology, he is still a cartoon character. Like, even in Japan, he still does cartoony things. There was a guy that made a mod for, like, Sonic in Smash to make his animations more cartoony, and there were a lot of, like, Japanese Sonic purists saying, like, oh, Sonic's not supposed to animate that way. It's like, Dude, like, it's fine. It works really well for him. It works well with his design. At the end of the day, you want to do what works and not what the original intent was, because intent changes.
Yeah. Indeed. And sometimes it just doesn't matter, because if it's good, it's good.
Yeah, it's like for every fucking Squad Busters commercial you'll get Sonic and the Blade of Courage, which I'm still yet to read, so I'm going to put that on the docket for another week. But, like, yeah, that seems to be one where people are really drawn to the writing style of it. So, next up, Borge. Nexelzeta sends $5 US. Thank you, Nexelzeta. Thank you again for being so generous today as well. The difference between the 2000s and the 10s was the 2000s was an up and downhill, while the 2010s just felt like a small rise and a big shape down. I think that's a fair take. Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think I felt
because
more
again,
like
you had the handheld stuff to kind of hold you over if you weren't invested in the main games, you know.
I think with Forces, I felt very so what now, because like we did all the tried and tested, and that failed. Like, and I don't know if that what now feeling was necessarily there in the 2000s. It wasn't for me because I wasn't a Sonic fan in the 2000s. So I can't know, but I want to know if people had that fuck, we've tried everything, now what feeling. After, say,
I definitely
Sonic
think
06.
that was a feeling during Unleashed when that happened, because I think the Werehog was. Yeah, I think Unleashed was where a lot of people, because of the Werehog, were like, okay, so Sega's giving up, right?
Yeah, because like 06 was like that was like the perfect storm of like YouTube content creators and the game not being good, like in the angry video game nerd trend. Like it all kind of like came together in this holy tornado matrimony of shit stains and
it released
whatnot.
at the worst possible time.
It released at the worst possible time, and then people were really like, all right, like what's coming after 06, because we also had Sonic and the Secret Rings coincide with 06. And even though that game did sell well, it just was kind of like a nothing burger for a lot of people. And it's like, what's next? And then the teaser, I remember this vividly. The teaser for Sonic Unleashed was Sonic holding the ring in a white background. He throws up in the air, the screen goes dark, then you see this werewolf hand come out and smack the ring. And at that point, a lot of Sonic fans at that time were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we just want...
The internet basically, like, universally groaned, because it's like, guys, can you not
it's like read the room, I guess.
Sonic game? Yeah,
it's like, read the room. Like, we don't want this fucking gimmicky bullshit. Like, that's what people were saying at the time.
Yeah.
Now, I love Unleashed, and I still have a lot of nostalgia
I can see why
for
at the
Sonic
time
Central,
that would alienate
but
people.
yeah.
I think a person who's a friend of the show is journalist Stuart Jibb. He basically kind of said, I remember when they were announcing Sonic Unleashed, there was all this talk about how they're going back to roots and stuff like that, high-speed gameplay, 2D, and then they announced what a werehog is. And it's just like...
Exactly. That was the big thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the last thing people kind of needed at the time, but I think the game being good at least helped it in the long run. But
yeah, because I was there during 06, and for me it was like, I remember literally like hunkering down with like my sisters and being like, okay, we're gonna save up money so we can get a PS3 so we can buy Sonic 06. Like we'd watch the trailers over and over again. And eventually when I played it, I just thought it was fun. Like I don't have that attachment to it like a lot of people who grew up with it did, but I just thought like, oh cool, it was another Sonic game. And then when Unleashed came out, that was kind of when I got involved with like learning about what other people thought, and people were just like, oh god, this, and I was like, oh, I guess this is bad or something. And then when Sonic 4 was coming out, literally part of the marketing was that they had a countdown showing that Sonic's friends would not be in it. Yeah. And I remember being like, oh, this is hype, I guess. People are excited.
Yeah, well, like people didn't know, and again, this is one of those things where people didn't know where the problems really lied with these games. Like, it wasn't Sonic's friends.
Seeing the marketing of Sonic 4 as well, being someone who got back into Sonic in 2008, I was like, I just got here. You're already shuddering up on the fucking alternate characters thing. I saw the vision. I got it. Why? Like I remember my first response, my first reaction to the Sonic 4 teaser. This is before they'd shown off any gameplay. I was like, who the fuck wants Sonic to go back to 2D?
It's crazy how we do kind of live in a vacuum. It is crazy how it's like
time is a loop.
Because time is a loop. Time is a flat circle. But like. Yeah, no, like, But that's what people remember of like the dark ages of Sonic is just them kind of like experimenting with what people kind of wanted and kind of failing or flopping in that aspect and
I
everything.
guess also like maybe
Meanwhile,
being a laughing stock.
maybe
too.
one
Yeah.
issue that could also be pointed at it is like I mentioned how like Sonic Forces' biggest problem is being so inferior to what came before while doing the tried and tested. When you think about it, maybe 06 is kind of guilty in the same way in that it revives the adventure formula, but in its worst version.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
always said that Forces is basically like this generation's 06. In the vein of like not Forces being broken or having glitches, because I feel like that stuff was very I'm not saying that they did happen in 06 and they were a problem, but they were kind of inflated because a lot of people would like exploit glitches just for laughs and clicks.
At least
even back
06
then.
That was
lasted
back when the
long.
internet was getting huge, so you would share those around and it'd become a big thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the biggest one I saw was Sonic getting flung into the air by Silver during the fight, but you can't really do that during normal gameplay. Like you have to be
I
put
think,
at a
yeah, like-
specific angle at this between a building and the invisible wall and get pushed out, and then that's how. And,
Sonic
and for
06,
some reason,
though,
yeah.
It's a rough fuck, Sonic 06. Well,
It
Sonic
is.
Forces is a game literally...
Sonic Forces is
Sonic
just
Forces-
missionary. It is
Can I
just missionary.
finish my
It is-
fucking analogy, please?
Go ahead.
Don't cut me off in the middle of an analogy. Fuck.
I'm sorry. As a Hollywood elite, I'm so sorry. But
Sonic
go on.
06 is a rough fuck. Sonic Forces is a game that was literally prematurely ejaculated into existence.
Sonic Forces is just missionary. That's
no,
it.
it isn't. There's no
That's it.
orgasm with Sonic Forces. There's no
There's
orgasm.
no. All right.
Sonic 06 gave me a really painful one, but fucking Sonic 06 gave me a UTI. But fucking...
Sonic 06 is like having sex in the woods. It's like, this is not ideal. But like, at least I can still have a good time.
But you'll never forget it.
You'll never forget it. Yeah, this is not ideal, but you'll never forget it. Meanwhile, it's like, Forces does everything right, but it's just boring. Like you might climax, but it's like whatever.
It does. It
Like,
makes all the right moves
whatever.
and makes them wrong.
All right.
All right. Well, anyways,
By the way, Super Chat's cut off. We love you guys, thank you, but Super Chat is cut off.
No more money.
No more money.
Please
We don't
do
want
not
your
send-
money.
No, but if you do send any more, they will be read next week. But that is past that
Yeah,
point. I will still get everyone up until now. So up
For,
until
Forces,
Nexus Zeta.
Forces is the side hug of the Sonic franchise. Like that's what that is.
Is my analogy just not
Yeah.
good enough for you, Trey? Is my
Yeah.
analogy just
No,
not
I
good
like
enough?
building upon analogies. That's it. I'm actually helping
I
you
like
out.
that.
Maybe
That's good.
my analogy's fine. Maybe my Mona Lisa's finished and I don't need your paints on it. Okay, just.
I didn't know you were taking it that seriously. I just wanted to have fun.
Oh, I take
Joking
my
around with
analogies
friends.
incredibly seriously. They're all art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Orker.
Who's next?
Ian. We have to do these quicker. And I know I'm
All
part
right.
of the
Oh, yeah,
problem,
for sure.
but we have to do these quicker.
Next, Zeta for $5. What I don't get is why they don't try to bring back more side games like Rush/Advanced to fill the gaps for big games. It seems like they're trying to do that now.
Well,
I think they are doing that.
if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Pup.
Well, racing Crossworlds, effectively. Dream Team,
Well-
Superstars. Like, they're all little
Well,
things
what I was
until
saying-
the next main thing.
I think the main reason is because the handheld market doesn't necessarily exist anymore. At least not in the
Yes.
way that it used to.
Yeah.
The handheld market nowadays is actually the phones. So,
Phone,
like,
yeah.
Sonic Dream Team, people complain that it's exclusive to iPhones and everything, but the advanced games were exclusive to the GBA, and the Rush games were exclusive to the DS. So, in theory, that's not really too dissimilar from what was had before. It's just
Handhelds-
it's not. Handhelds just it's because of the Switch.
Well,
The
they get-
Switch
well, I was gonna
kind
say
of
is they-
blurred the line.
They gave us a lot of hidden gems in the handhelds, and they're still doing that today.
Right.
You've got hidden gems like Sonic Dream Team, or incredibly so hidden they haven't even fucking emerged yet gems like Sonic Rumble.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I guess at least they released Sonic Rush.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough. But that's the main thing is that these smaller games that were made by these bigger studios for the handheld market, like they can't really exist in the same way because the handheld market just doesn't exist in the same way that it used to. Because now it's like, if you want a handheld game, okay, just take the game that's made for home console or PC and put it on the Switch or put it on a Steam Deck, and then there you go. It's a handheld game now. You know, like the line's been blurred so much, and stuff that would be considered a handheld or spin-off, I guess, experience are now getting the same budget or have to get the same budget as like the AAA main releases, you know? So yeah, that part sucks. Like, I love the Switch, but I hate that it did kind of like merge the handheld and console markets together, because I do still wish we had dedicated handhelds for like these smaller games and, you know, whatnot. And something that isn't on my phone. Like, I use my phone for other things. I don't really use it for gaming all that much personally. So that's just me.
All right, so next up, Orker. All
right.
I think
it's,
it is you, Trey.
Is it me or is it Ian? Because didn't you read the last one?
I think
Didn't I
you
just
read
do
the
it?
last one.
Oh, Ian read the last one. Okay, my bad. Oz Productions
good.
sends $5 pre-2020 Sonic team. Please don't forget us. 2020's era Sonic team. I'm here and I am all of me. Yes.
Love it.
That's true.
Fucking love it. Next up.
The real difference is just the confidence, yeah.
Next up.
But thank you for
Orker.
the donation. Thank you.
Blade Fox 14 with $5. Thank you, Blade Fox 14. As a Fang fan, that Mark II boss kills you. Superstars fucking kills me, dude, because I love Fang. I love Fang. I've been waiting for Fang's fucking return for a long time, and both of his boss fights suck shit. Both of them are fucking horrible. The only one I like is that encounter with him in Speed Jungle. And, like, that's not even a boss.
Yeah.
God damn it. Disappointing.
Yeah.
Alright. Borger.
All right, let's see here. OZ Productions for $5. Jim's OKKO character is pretty much Long John Baldry's Eggman. Hell, he was brought into the Sonic crossover as the villain.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, like, and he was heavily based on Baldry as well. What do you mean, Long John Baldry's Eggman? He is only Robotnik Oz. But fucking yeah, they even had like a scratch and grounder in there as well. I haven't seen OKKO, but I saw that crossover. But yeah, okay. So the next one, Borger. Trey.
Okay. It's my turn. Giorno with the 5 Brazilian reals. Thank you, Giorno. Imagine your currency being so fake you have to say that's real. Anyways, I'm kidding. But thank you again, Giorno. It is weird. Most of Sonic's cast have voices in Brazil, though, external media. But Sega never dubbed. But Sega themselves never dubbed. It even took us an entire campaign for a sub of Frontiers. That is so strange to me because, again, Brazil fucking loves Sonic. Like,
it's because you had
like
the
Sega's
audacity to grow up in Brazil.
Yeah, yeah. That again, I just don't understand it because of Sega's history with Brazil being so, at least from a financial standpoint, so like symbiotic, you know? Like both the government and Sega benefited from that, you know, in that aspect. That's so strange.
Is Sonic Rumble playable in Brazil?
Oh, that's a good point. Is it? If it is, then you have something over the US. You know,
like if it's that case, like, Yep. It's available in Brazil. Yep, there you go. You get nothing. You got.
There you go. Yeah. No dub for Crossworlds, but you get Sonic Rumble. There you go. There's the monkey's paw right there.
Greedy Giorno, Jesus. I'm messing around, obviously. All right, Borger. I think I should get this one, which is good because this is my one anyway. It's Garbage Grass with the $1 $99 Crossworlds.
Out of my way, loser!
Imagine Marge.
Hey, there we go. That was good. That was good.
Imagine Marge having more, like, Marge reading out, like, classic Amy quotes. But we basically did that earlier.
Just classic Sonic. What you see is what you get. just a
homie who loves adventure.
All right, so next up, Ian. This one is yours, and I think this is quite an important one.
Okay, KB 199. Thank you. Ian Muchler wrote the adventure.
The murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, sorry, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog script. There you go.
Thank you, KB. You are the best fact checker ever. I don't know what I'd do without you.
I was trying to like.
I was saying it was Katie Krasnowski, so that's my bad. Maybe she wrote the story.
Like
It was the other.
I think it was definitely like a collaborative effort for sure. But Ian
it means
did write
that my
a lot
whole
of the
point.
dialogue.
My whole point about women writing Amy kind of falls flat when you realize that Ian Muchler wrote for Amy there. So there you have it. Thank you, KB. I feel like an idiot now. but it's for the
Oh,
best.
apparently, according to Giorno, they do have Sonic Rumble in Brazil. So there you go.
Yeah, Jono, what's your problem? I'm just messing.
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want a dub? Just play Sonic Rumble. Sorry.
You know what? I'm deleting the hashtag out of the description right now, just for that. I'm replacing it with Sonic Rumble. All countries matter.
It's so true. No. Oh God.
Oh God.
So dumb.
Oh God. Okay, so Borger.
All right. I think it's my turn. No,
Yes.
it's
No, it is.
yeah,
your
it's
turn.
my turn. Oz Productions sends $2. Thank you. Is Ian Flynn going through his R2D2 arc?
No,
Wait, what do you mean?
RTD2. RTD2. So,
Or RTD2.
Russell T Davis was the writer who brought Doctor Who back in 2005, and he was one of the best writers the show had ever
Oh.
seen. A couple of years ago, he returned to the show and has written some of the absolute worst scripts of his career, and it's fucking dreadful. So, absolutely not. Ian Flynn, I might not like how he writes
No.
Amy now as much as he did before. I might not like his recent work as much as his Archie work, but bear in mind different circumstances and stuff like that. Ian Flynn could never be as washed as Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies isn't just washed. Russell T Davies is now terminally sterilized. When it comes to Doctor Who, anyway.
Yeah.
I still reckon he could probably write a good drama or two. But, like, his Doctor Who work, get it out. That has no business in a professional capacity. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like with all the all the grievances I have about the writing and some of like the some of the pacing with some of the writing with recent games. Ian Flynn's still one of the best writers that the Sonic series has ever had. That's probably
I
not
agree,
saying
yeah.
a whole heck of a lot, but that's still saying a lot. You know,
I think my
like,
absolute favorite writers are whoever it was that worked on Sonic X. But, like, outside of that, like, I think Ian Flynn has done a wonderful job at kind of bringing in a new era of Sonic, I guess. Like, I think, like, the writers of Sonic X brought us the de facto 2000s depictions, and I think Ian Flynn is bringing us, like, a really nice modern depiction. I still prefer the way Sonic X did it, which is funny because I didn't grow up with Sonic X, but I still absolutely see the merits in the IDW era of Sonic. So,
yeah.
with that, Borker. It is my
It
turn.
is. Yeah, it is
KB
your turn.
sends $1.99. Thank you, KB. I think Bonanza is inspired by Journey to the West.
What's Ring to the West actually?
Name rings a
look that
bell.
up.
Is it an old movie?
Well, I
It
think
does ring a bell.
this might be why. Journey to the West.
Yeah, Journey to
Yeah.
the West.
Yeah, I mean that's what like Dragon
It's
Ball's
an old
based on.
manga. It's an old manga.
Oh,
And it was made into a movie at one point. Okay.
I think it's just an old.
it's an
Tale.
old book. Yeah, it's a.
Yeah,
it's,
it's just an old Japanese tale. Like I mean, it's like
it's a
Dragon
Chinese. Yeah, it's a Chinese
based off,
novel
'cause
from the
it's like-
16th century. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Sun Wukong is the main character, I think, and that's Son Goku, where that comes from. He's got the
yeah.
flying cloud. Yeah, well, which is why people are, I think, saying that it reminds them of Luffy as well, because Luffy has kind of like a form that I think is inspired by the flying
Yes.
cloud motif.
Yeah. I think it's like it's within the same realm. I think discussion wise, it's like the book, like the Odyssey. I think in terms of like importance and
Yes.
how much stuff is like referenced from it, but just
Yep.
from a different, just from a different culture.
All right.
Indeed.
Very interesting.
So, next up, Borker. Is it Ian? Ian, did you
Yeah,
read
It
the
is
last
Ian.
one?
Yes, it is. It is.
No, I'm
Oh,
up.
you read the last one. Yeah.
Yep, Mr. Krabs for $1.99 US. Thank you, Homer. Why is there $450 charging on my card, boy? There you go.
Ian, I love you, but what was that?
That was really bad.
I just love just the I love just very like nonchalant honesty where it's just like it's the reason why the whole like it's true like thing like cracks
it's
me up
like-
so much.
Trey, it's like that time I told you that you'd done like a good approximation of a voice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like yep, yeah, this is true. I love completely nonchalant honesty like that. It's like honesty that you can't really avoid but don't want to harp on for too long, so you just like disagree and move on.
Take the L,
It's,
basically.
it's so funny. I'm sorry for laughing too hard. but that's
You were
really
dealt
funny.
a rough hand there, Ian. You did
No.
your best, and that's all that matters.
No, you did good. You did good.
No, I am actually
can-
happy we did that because that means we've got one more for the collection.
Oh yeah, we got one more. All right. So.
All right. No, as in, we got one more Homer impression to add to our stack.
Oh, one more Homer. Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Okay.
I think I got the last one. Nexel Zeta. Is that how you pronounce it? Nexel Zeta with $2 US. Thank you. Shadow 05 was Sonic Forces, but better. Honestly, I think Shadow 05 was just its own thing because it kind of had like the Star Fox 64 style where you have to replay the game multiple times in order to get like the true ending type deal. Forces was just like, thankfully you didn't have to replay it a lot to get the true ending. You just had to play it one
Shadow 05 asks a little too much of the player. Sonic Forces asks nothing of the player, so I don't know if I can safely say. I mean, maybe in terms of like the darker story and like,
or maybe in terms of like how people perceive it at this point in time comparatively. Maybe.
I guess, yeah.
But even then, like a lot of the problems with Shadow 05, at least for me, was like. Like I grew up in a Christian household, so it was about like this game from a series I love, like being like edgy and having guns, and my parents were like put off.
You
by
gotta
that,
hide it from the parents.
Yeah, like he even says "damn" when he falls. Like, ooh, like we can't handle this. Not next to Jesus on the wall, you know, like we can't do that.
Bolted to the wall.
yeah, it's just Jesus on the cross. The crucifix.
You
is on
can't
the wall,
play
you know?
Sonic a Shadow 05 not while Jesus is watching.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for the donations. That's all I had to say about that last one.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Where's the rest of
good.
them? Now we got 10 more to
yeah.
read. Don't worry. No, I honestly just want to have some fucking dinner.
No, same here. I am starving.
It's
I
like
am so
11
hungry right now.
p.m. where I'm at. So, okay.
Jeez.
Before we all go running along then, before we go on our merry way, Trey, well, what's new with you? What are you up to, boo?
In less than a week, I'm gonna be at Too Many Games. So if you are going to Too Many Games, I will be there with Garrulus, 64, Dylan, also with Sam Procrastinates and Kenny, a bunch of great people. Nick's gonna be there, Game Politics is gonna be there as well, and I'm honestly just focusing on that. I'm trying to finish up a lot of like music commissions right now before I go on that trip, so hopefully I can get done with that. And again, just working on a lot of new music, trying to do things tactfully. It's pretty difficult because I don't like marketing. I've noticed, I've learned that about myself. I like making music, but I don't like marketing it or waiting.
I know a guy who's like a senior marketing exec at another place that might be able to help you.
Like that would be the biggest thing for me is like the waiting aspect of it, because a lot of me is just like, well, I have it done, it's right here, I just want to go ahead
put it out,
release it out to the world and let people enjoy it. But like you gotta do things tactfully and give it the best, like, you know, best shot at it, you know.
I mean, I think given
that
you're kind of starting out at this though, I think get some music out there.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, I'm going to,
because if you start advertising, it's like, why should anyone give a fuck, you know? Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just get the first batch out there, get the reputation, and then
at least a single. Like that's what I was thinking too. Is that, like maybe like release a single and then go ahead and like maybe a month later release like my EP. That way,
I mean, my pals, my buddies over at Tour de Grace, they released their newest single, "Backseat Lover," and their marketing for it has just been like playing Backseat Lover to this pigeon here and stuff like that. Like, it's like super lazy marketing and stuff like that. Like that can really work for like a brand if you're kind of going for the underdog look. So, yeah. And,
well, like, yeah. I mean, in like, I think that is the move where I am going to release a single. I was hoping to release it this month, but that's not really going to be the case. So
you'll release something someday, Mr. Rumble Pants.
Hey, like at least
you're literally Sonic Rumble.
Pre-season 5 of my album is coming out.
-7.
I actually only released my EP in Brazil and the Philippines areas, and that's it. But I will release it in the US, but it's on pre-season 5 right now, and I'm adding new tracks to it. But you can't listen to it. It's not for you to listen to.
Schrodinger's album.
It will come out eventually. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, working on a lot of music, working on videos as well. Honestly, the videos aspect of it has nothing to do with marketing. It's just me being very meticulous about editing and making sure all my points are conveyed clearly and like rewatching it and all that sort of stuff. I'm very particular when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I don't put out a lot of content because of that. And it's a bad habit.
Yeah, the guy's explaining himself while he's marketing himself. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, yeah. So I'm excited for y'all to listen to that whenever it does release, and I'll be sure to never shut up about it whenever it does release.
That you shouldn't.
And,
you're also officially legitimate because you have been invited to Brazil by a Brazilian fan.
Hey, come to Brazil! Yes!
You
oh my God,
you got to come to
Thank
Brazil.
you, Jorno. I appreciate it. Yes. There's two things in a musician's career where they know they've made it. It's whenever they're asked to be in Brazil, or whenever Weird Al makes a parody of their song. And like that's the two times where it's like, yes, I've made it. I've made it as a musician. I would love to tour Brazil. Like unironically, I would love to travel the world. That would be awesome, actually.
Right, well, while there's still a little oxygen left, Ian,
anyways, sorry.
You're obviously going for a lot of stuff right now. Is there stuff you can tell the audience about yet, or is it still under wraps?
Well, that's all still under wraps until it's done. But
I'll keep my lips sealed then.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Though.
But what I will say is that yeah, I can tell you after the track. But I will say is that Low Art and I are still working on Archie Sonic analysis videos, going on like our 3rd year now doing that. And we continue can plan to keep going until we run out of ideas or people don't watch anymore and people still enjoy them. So, never a bad time to gush about Archie Sonic. So if you want to see me work on stuff there, you can. So thanks for having me as usual. Having me.
Heck yeah.
We got to get Low Art back on as well at some point, Like, I would love to chat with Low Art again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Get you both in here. We can talk about Ovaltine.
Yes.
All right, well, Pup, what are you up to?
There we go. I don't know anymore. My future is a cul-de-sac. Anything could happen. Whatever you expect to come next. Yeah. Whatever you expect to come next from Channel Pup, it won't be what you're expecting. I'm gonna really fucking play with your heads this time. Just kidding. It's gonna be fucking super or something, I'm sure. No, I don't know what's next for the channel because I've mainly been focused on this job thing and stuff like that. So, I mean, fingers crossed. And if anyone's, feeling in a rut of, like, employment being really fucking difficult to come by, yeah, this job, I gotta thank my buddy Lewis for kind of hooking me up with that, to be honest. So, yeah, it is, in my case, a luck thing. So, trust me, you're doing all the right things.
Yeah.
I hope luck changes.
I've heard that across the board lately, too. And it's so disheartening because it's like, it shouldn't be this hard to get a job, just in general. So I am glad you were able to find one. I'm proud of you, man.
I didn't find it. It found me. So
well, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that I'm just glad that you were, you're able to get, a job and everything, and you feel comfortable, and you're able to I can already tell, even in your demeanor today, that you're just in a better mood because of the security that you have. So that's
did you see the little thing they've put at my desk as well?
No, I haven't. Let me
it's in the Sunset Town Hall chat. I'll send it to you as well, Ian. I can't put it up on screen because it contains my real name, and I know people know it, but I don't want to make a point of showing it. I'll send it to you, Ian.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so fun. That's so fun.
I put this up on my desk. It's for anyone listening. It's a little sign that says "Coming soon," and it's got my name, and then it's got Sonic on it, the classic and modern versions. So it's very sweet.
That's very cute.
I could tell this is gonna be a fun workplace.
That's good.
Yeah. That will be that then. I guess we'll just go now, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does anyone have any last words that they want to say before we cut off?
Bye.
No. There's something better.
I think we could just go. Let's go.
I think we can. All right, bye-bye, everyone.